Counterpoints, how's it going? You
Hey, Connor.
here to answer all of our questions, comments?
Yeah, kind of. I'm actually DMing somebody right now, but yeah, in general, I don't have any problems answering your questions or concerns. Although Kelly Jean, didn't you have a relationship with DGG for a while?
What do you mean?
Like, aren't you tangentially in the orbit of Destiny and the DGGers and all that bullshit?
Yeah.
Sure. Why?
So how come you can't stand like political conversations for more than 15 minutes?
Because they weren't like saying anything new. Like we learned one piece of new information and listening to like 40, 50 minutes of that VOD. That was
Okay.
one thing, and that was Brianna Wu has left. That was it. We could have I could have had that in a sentence.
I would say that there was a complex conversation between relatively intelligent people about what are the ethics of taking money
Tell
from
me, what
organizations,
was
how does
any
it affect your
different
content?
than the VOD that we watched with Wick and the other conversation? Because that was my complaint, that there was nothing new in your conversation with Chud than there was in Wick's conversation with the other group of people.
The video you saw her reacting to is like the second video.
I noticed that you take it personally, so I'll be filing that away to use against you.
Well, you know, that's totally fine because the truth is I do watch Jstlk on occasion, and just sometimes you're a little lit and you're just about content when he's obviously trying to watch it. So that's what I noticed about you.
Okay, who asked?
Paste.
Nobody. I said.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, what's next?
I don't know, you tell me.
Oh, you're the one that came in here. If you haven't got anything else to say,
do you know why Brianna
gotcha.
left?
Anything else?
Oh,
no, not specifically.
Oh, you don't
So
know.
well, I mean,
Like, was it her choice or
said.
did they ask her to leave? If you know that, at least.
I don't know that specifically about where it was, but the official line that we received is that basically she wasn't the head of PV. There's a different head of PV. His name is Sam. He's he's the main guy. So he's the head honcho. He makes all the calls about what's going on. Brianna is a very, I think we all know this, kind of type A personality that likes to run shit and likes to get people on schedules and manage stuff and all that kind of stuff. You don't know what type A personality is?
No.
She wouldn't have said that if she did.
It's you or Kelly Jean.
That means nothing. Just explain to her what it means.
Assertive, dominant personality. Likes to run things.
Yeah, how do you assess yourself, smartass?
There's no need to be rude to Cherry because she didn't know what something meant.
All right, you guys. There's no need to.
It as a question.
Listen, there's no need to fight at all. Okay, we're just chill.
Everybody's
chill here.
You're doing an erudite to Chud when you didn't know what a word meant.
Connor, part of this is my fault. I let Kelly do this because it's content for the stream. Shut up. You know what? Never mind.
No, but
Connor, kill her. Just kill her right now. Just murder her.
But this is
Thank you.
The thing. Like, if you're gonna act like you're a big important bad, well, I'm not going to because this is a digital forum. But at the same time, if you're gonna act like the big bad in the room, yeah, I'm gonna give you shit about it. So who gives?
You did not succeed. But anyway, just answer Cherry's question or just continue like she didn't exist. I guess. Either way.
Okay, so she's a type A dominant personality, kind of the same way that people complain that Kelly Jean can be assertive and dominant and kind of a pain in the ass to talk to. That is what some people have said about Brianna Wu, is that she's type A. She can be assertive and dominant.
Assertive or aggressive?
Well, I mean, you would have to ask the people who took issue with her assertiveness about that, their opinion.
I just don't know. Okay. I guess I'll just look up what
is type B personality beta?
I think type A implies more aggressive than assertive.
Yes.
Okay. The point is that there were differing visions about where PV was going to go specifically when it came to the content creation project. They had their thing. They both bid each other adieu and they moved on. So it's not like a huge interpersonal dramatic blowout. It's just a difference in creative opinion, which absolutely happens when there's a shitload of money, time, and attention floating around in an institution.
I think that can happen, but like normally, so I'm people will want me to press you on this. I'm not gonna press you that badly because one, I have no idea if you know, but two, every time I hear that said, that's always true to an extent, but there is always that's like 50% of the story tops. So like I've been in a lot of big organizations, and I've seen that exact story play out. There's always like way more to the story, but I have no idea how much you know or like what else is going on there.
Well, yeah, and so all right, I think anybody with like an above average intelligence would basically know that like that is what people are going to portray to the public, both Brianna and PV. So we're not going to know whether or not there is anything super negative there because they're both trying to remain professional and get work in the space in the future. And also if there's a collaborative project that they can work on together in the future, they want to leave that bridge not burned. So that's just, you know, it's professional parlance. So yeah.
Especially when it comes to the general and everybody coalesces anyways. That's, you know.
Right. And isn't this so maybe I'm talking out of my ass here, but the entire project, as far as I'm concerned, is lefties are carnivorous, cannibalistic crabs in a bucket who the second that there's like blood in the water, they love to rip each other apart and be the most unproductive mother that I've ever had the displeasure of working with.
Why
so the
did
entire
they bring
point
you
of this
in the
project,
water, though?
What? I'll answer that in a second.
Okay.
So the point is, how can we actually build a coalition of creative, intelligent, entertaining people to come together in order to get enough momentum in the online political space that you can translate that into real life?
Well, they didn't do a good job if they just hired a bunch of orbiters. They
Just wait till Taylor Swift shills for Joe Biden at the end of the Super Bowl.
Honestly, if you're, you know what, you're right. If we knew T Swift was going to join the bandwagon, we probably wouldn't need PV.
I don't understand why that's a conspiracy theory. She like very clearly doesn't want to be involved in politics. She like got her like absolute hair pulled to like endorse Joe Biden the last time. Like she was not. She doesn't want to do it.
I know she doesn't, but it would be the biggest troll of the century for them.
If she just does it now anyway.
If she just does it at the end of the Super Bowl to be like, you can't hurt Travis's career. I'm already touring. Go Joe Biden, and just watch like all the young women start to vote. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all of the young women who are going to vote Republican are going to switch to voting Democrat? No shot. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You don't know the power of the Swifties.
Yeah, so I want to answer Sherry's question, which is why me, right? Why be involved? One, Brianna Wu and I have talked in the past, so she was kind of my into PV. Two, that I think what I offer is an alternative perspective. I've been never Trump since like 2015. I haven't changed on that. I identify with republicanism philosophically. So I dislike 55% of the Republican Party, but I also think that I know how to communicate to them. So taking progressive policies that could be communicated for conservative ends, I think that's part of what I offer.
Wait, I don't understand. So why are you a part of Progressive Victory as somebody who is not, you don't identify as progressive, right? You were quite...
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Burkean conservative and I'm a Republican, yeah.
Yeah, why are you a part of it then?
Because how are progressives going to communicate 45%? No, not just money. Okay, I love money. But also, 45% of the Republican Party is not happy about Trump. So how do you communicate that Democrats or progressives are the better option over Trump? That is what I can offer.
I see. So, well, I understand what you can offer. I'm just wondering, why would you offer those services to progressives when you don't want progressives? Presumably, you don't want progressives to win.
Really? Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
Are you sure? Because you just said that that leftists, they will like eat each other alive, right? Like you don't even find them to be competent, but you would rather them be in charge than MAGA?
I don't think Joe Biden
in your head, haven't you?
I don't think Joe Biden is a leftist.
Based.
I think he's a liberal. I think he's relatively speaking centrist.
Yeah.
So
also far more populist than most of that wing or most of that like entire party.
Yeah. So the side, the side of that aisle on the left, the Democrats, the part that you wouldn't like is the part that you've signed up to work with. That's like me empathizing with you as your type of conservative, but then going and helping MAGA. That doesn't make sense in my head, but I might still be experiencing psychosis.
No, okay. There's definitely parts of people who identify as progressive that I don't like, but I also tell them the parts of their policy that I don't like. But also progressive does not mean leftist, right? So when I think leftist, I think economics. I think socialist or communist. There's plenty of people who are progressive who are not socialists or communists.
True.
That's the biggest amount of copium I had to listen to.
So Connor could get a...
Spit it out, Kelly Jean. Stop being a and say what you're thinking.
That is what I think. I think that was just a lot of coke to justify getting money. Like, just say I like money.
Okay, well, not anybody is as empty and vapid and soulless as you, so shut the fuck up.
Jesus
So Connor,
Christ.
so
And
Connor
what is
could.
your basis for me being empty and vapid?
Because you're assuming that I'm soulless with no evidence for it. So I'm almost only assuming that you're taking your lack of principle and you're projecting it onto me.
Oh, it's because you didn't really say anything. That wasn't just cope.
Okay,
think
so
what he
please,
was trying
hold
to
on,
say
everybody else
wasn't
shut the fuck up. No, I would love to be walked through this. Please tell me what I was coping about. Everybody else shut the fuck up. I want to hear it.
Like saying progressives aren't really leftists and also the other shit. I don't think you believe.
Is that what I
anything
said?
that
I
you
also
just
think
Did
said.
I say that progressives weren't leftists?
She can say
Is that
that
what I
you're
said?
after the money without saying that you're soulless.
You said
Okay,
being
hold on.
progressive is
You-
not really leftist. Is that not what you just said?
Yeah, I said that leftist, particularly defined in the political online space, is economic. It's socialist and communist. And you can be a progressive and not be a socialist or a communist.
Yeah, I'd consider
take
myself
issue with-
progressive, and I'm not a socialist or a communist.
Yeah, so do you take issue with anything that I've said in the past 3 sentences, or is that also cope? Would you like to narrow down the cope for me?
But you are not. You're not just not a socialist or a communist. All right, brilliant.
Uh-huh.
Bringing up my pretty extreme leftism over here as if that means anything, right? So, like, why? What would make you progressive?
The fact that I don't hate gay people, I don't hate black people. I'm a big fan of Rally's content.
No, don't hate the fucking gays. I'm progressive now. I've just
Relatively speaking,
I
if
just
you look
caught
at
up with
online,
the rest of the world since the fucking 80s. Brilliant. Clap for you.
Okay.
Counterpoints. There was a big
online,
gays.
Kelly Jean, online,
What the
I don't know
fuck?
if you've noticed this, but there's an entire side of the right wing that is anti-Semitic, that is race realist, that is racist,
Because they're
that gay people.
Woods. That doesn't make you progressive.
Yeah, but do you see where I might
this is
align with progressives on these specific issues?
mental
Do you
illness.
see? I'm just going to repeat it. Do you see where I
No.
might align with progressives more than I do 55% of the Republican Party if 55% of the
No.
Republican Party identifies that
bunch
way?
of
Maybe
fucking
can you just
cunts.
tell her specifically
You're
one of
okay,
them so
Kelly
she can
Jean. I literally think
get it?
you're either too inebriated or too to track the conversation.
How are you
I
gonna
value
use the same attack as everyone else? Oh, she must be drunk. No.
because you can't repeat back to me the flaws in my logic when you and I are having the
I
conversation.
just gave
while
you an
while
example.
6 other people wait for the conversation to end because you suck at following what I'm saying.
I just gave you an example.
And you were
And
wrong
your
on the
response
example.
was, I don't hate the gays.
Yeah, and then I said that makes me more likely to align with progressives than it does the 55% of the Republican Party that identifies as
You
MAGA.
can't gaslight me, mate. It's not working. Not hating the gays don't make you progressive, you loser.
I never said I was progressive. I said that I would align with progressives more on some specific issues.
I think just give her one of the issues. So
you're not
that's one of the
progressive,
fucking
but you
issues.
also don't think that being progressive is a leftist thing. But also, the only example you could give me was not hating the gays.
Okay, do you know what the word progressive means or where it comes from philosophically?
Why don't you define it for me? Because you seem to be so lackadaisy with this word, bro. Because
Okay, do you know where
Progressive to
conservatism comes
me-
from?
Sure. But
Okay,
what
so
does
who-
it mean to you? Because when you're
What
saying
does it mean
these
to me?
things,
Okay, so what it means
I
to
don't
me
think
is
being progressive just means not hating the fucking gays.
no, I think you're absolutely right because I'm not progressive. Okay, so
Okay.
the concept of left and right. Do you want me to talk or do you want to tell me?
I wasn't speaking, was I?
Okay. So the term left and right comes from the French Revolution, where the left side were the populists who were anti-monarchists, and the right side were the monarchists. They were the institutionalists. Okay. And so what happened was people used this as a shorthand for political parlance, where the right wing wants to maintain the current institutions and the left wing wants to reform society. So the left wing typically is at minimum liberal because they want people to be as free as possible, or at maximum, they're progressive, meaning that they want to reform society. The right wing oftentimes wants to conserve things. But Edmund Burke, the philosophical founder of conservatism, believed that when you try to hold on to tradition for tradition's sake, you create a stagnant and brittle society that will fall apart and destroy itself. So Burkean conservatism, which is the philosophy that I subscribe to, basically says that you can progress a little bit, but not too much. And so I view Trump as a traditionalist who is holding on to brittle and collapsing institutions, whereas I think progressives have lost their minds, but they don't have the institutional power to implement all the crazy Twitter SJW warrior bullshit that they do online. Have I lost you at all?
Yeah, I stopped paying attention when you were giving definitions.
That's
of
because you're a dumb. Yeah, that's because you're a dumb bitch or
no,
you're
it's
inebriated.
because it's like nothing
So
to do with anything we were talking about. You tried to sound smart.
I feel like
and
that's kind of sexist to call her a dumb.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like you're calling
She's
a lot
a
of people a dumb.
fucking-
I stopped listening. I stopped listening after political parlance.
Let me just wank on stream. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna pay attention.
Hold on.
to you.
What the fuck does political
Kelly G,
parlance
this
mean?
is
Why would
why-
you say that?
Because he's trying to sound smart is not work.
Because I am smart. And the fact that you asked me for
You are
definitions.
smart. You wouldn't
Kelly
be
G.
here with the rest of the chimpanzees, you fucking loser.
Okay. You nailed a part of this, which is you're a chimpanzee and you can't track a conversation. That's
the
correct.
FCC won't let me be. PV still sounds like an STD. You're all a bunch of chimpanzees.
Okay, thank you for responding to anything I've said in the past 5 minutes. I'm kind of done with Kelly Jean because I think she's retarded and incapable of tracking the conversation. So I'll talk to anyone else.
She's not. She just trolls for God knows what reason. Okay. What?
Okay.
I think Relly
Are we-
had
Good for her.
questions, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Relly, you want to fire away with some questions?
Oh,
Talk to Kyla. That's how you get money, Relly. There you go.
great. I mean, I feel like Connor kind of answered some of my questions. It seems like his political orientation puts him inside of a position where he thinks that the like super crazy cringe lefties that we all can kind of appeal to are super crazy and cringe, and that the more moderate left or like people on the left, like the Joe Biden types, are they're like fine. They're definitely not horrible or as bad as these crazy lefties, and working between the two people are like people like Connor and people like the liberals like Joe Biden is probably for the best. I think he answered my questions for the most part, and it makes sense to me because
they're my preference over Trump.
Yeah, because like I can appeal to that because I would, if the reverse were true, if it was like people who were a little bit more conservative, who were potentially reaching out to me, especially with payment, to collaborate with them in opposition to like the MAGA people and also these crazy cringe lefties, I'd probably be like, yeah, you're paying me, and I think you guys aren't like crazy or anything. Let's do it. So
that's basically what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if does anyone else have questions? Because I think I have 2 or 3.
What do you mean when you say talk to Kyla for money? What did you say?
No, okay, so I'm joking, but not so erudite is involved with PV. She's doing the logistics for the canvassing event on February 10th and 11th.
But
so
she
if
disclosed
Relly
that, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
Relly, if Relly wanted to go, because I was excited to see Relly. I wanted to see Relly. I've never met him in person before. So basically, if he needed some assistance getting there, besides a carpool, because I know that would be uncomfortable, right now, I think that PV is sitting at like 330, 350 people, and they were trying to get to 500. So I don't know if they have extra money for whatever, but it's at least worth a DM.
Yeah, I need to message I need to talk to Darius and Danny, because they talked about since they're a large part of the reason why I'm not going to Ohio, possibly comping some of my flight there and back. So
well, and I'm not a rich man, but I would, $20 at a time, we could get you there,
that's That's nice, man.
Everybody go to
I mean,
Relly stream now and donate.
Go to Relly stream and donate.
We could easily
so we can
do
fly
that
out.
if you want to, but I don't. Just real quickly, how bad? Like, you gotta want to go, right?
No, I mean, yeah, I'll go. It's just the only problem is like originally it was like I want to go, but
ticket in half, would you go?
Yeah, I mean, right now it sounds like I might be able to cut it in half myself because it seems like my roommates are saying they'll pay for me to get there, and then all I have to do is pay to come back.
Okay, so I will go to Relly stream. Are you streaming right now?
No, I'm not streaming.
Oh, okay. Well, next time you're streaming, I'll give you $50 dono. There you go.
Jstlk just linked his Streamlabs.
Where did you link it?
Yeah, Relly Streamlabs. Just to be clear, Relly Streamlabs, not mine.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
So if you guys did want to go, you could go donate there in both chats. But yeah, and then you could also donate subs on Kick. That's a pretty good way to give somebody money.
Okay. Yeah, subs on Kick are nice. Subs on Twitch are depressing after Kick subs became a thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Sorry. If somebody else wants to talk.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, go ahead, Batman.
Definitely.
Sorry, I'm too vapid to speak.
Just please don't start fight for a little bit. For like a little bit.
Are you rich? Can you give Relly some money? Because that would be a redeeming factor.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Why aren't you the one that's getting a bunch of money? Why don't you give it?
I'm about
definitely make an effort to
put my money where my mouth is.
$50.
Just to be clear, you're gonna be there, Connor?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
At Ohio?
Oh, that's one of my questions.
Let's go.
He needs like 600. What the f is $50 gonna do?
Oh, well,
I don't know. Maybe if you stop being a bitch and you give 20, then you can help out.
Well, why should she care if Relly goes there? Why
because she cares about
wait.
She cares about abortion.
We need to bring the temperature down.
Decent human beings.
Okay, my bad.
Connor, if you call Kelly a bitch again, she's probably gonna kick you. And I really want to just finish this conversation. So if you could just ignore each other for like 5 minutes, that'd be fantastic. Please.
I wouldn't have kicked him. He's clearly on the edge of losing his mind.
All right. I don't just ignore each other.
See,
for like
she's
5
sadistic.
minutes.
She loves it.
A little bit, yeah, but it's incredible
to
content almost all the time. So Wolfgan's just psyched that somebody else is here to tank for a little bit.
No, I'm tired, and I'm so tired. I don't want to fight this war anymore. I come home and the kids are great. I just don't want to go back to the trenches. Okay. So.
All right. So I have Batman. You didn't ask your questions, did you? Do you have questions?
No, I was just going to sit there and say donate to Relly, let him go, because not all of us can make it out there, so let him, fight the good fight and have a good time.
Okay.
With the way you said that, I'm assuming you're not going, Sports Batman?
I cannot. It's, God, my stuff is, how do I explain this? In the past, it has been suggested that we should not even vote, because it might be a problem, so definitely campaigning and all that is out for me.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it.
Law office, like their practice.
Yeah.
Oh,
we do. So we focus a lot on corporate regulatory defense. So whoever gets, elected president could have an outcome for clients and stuff like that when it comes to mergers, acquisitions, and regulatory stuff. So
that's kind of cocked that you can't. That you're encouraged not to
participate.
Vote.
Yeah.
Well, I think probably they can't really say don't vote. It's just like don't tell anybody who you voted for. Don't make it obvious.
Yeah, and the other thing is they can tell us don't do anything outside of work.
That's
political campaigning or anything like that. So
yeah. Give me a sec.
Okay, just real quick, I got a couple questions. The first one was going to be, are you going to Ohio, Connor? The second one is, are you going to be actively canvassing, or are you in some other role? And can you say?
No, I'm in another role. So I'll be doing chauffeuring probably. So I'll be driving people around. Also, I do have a security background, so I'll be kind of making sure that nothing really pops off and goes crazy. I did 4 years in the military and 4 years in law enforcement.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you're a law enforcer, Deuterino. That's true.
So we get the Lycan and Connor buddy cop movie in Ohio.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
So basically, if somebody tries to murder Steven, then we'll murder that person back.
Okay, for buddy cop deals, you want to have people that are either ethnically different from one another or different background, okay? These guys are just the same.
Wolfgang,
Right?
classic comedy duo, the straight man and the color commentary.
The straight man. Oh,
right?
Okay, yeah, I was interested in that because I think that like I don't really know how deep the ethical concerns go, but obviously like Progressive Victory and specifically like Brianna's Rebellion Pack, I think they funded Nina Turner in the last cycle or the cycle before. So it's like the people they're funding are people who like directly cut against my values and I think would directly cut against yours, but I don't know who Progressive Victory's funding yet. Obviously the cycle hasn't really started yet.
Yeah, so I mean I think the main thing, like if we were talking about midterms or something like that and they were talking about like running some, you know, from the river to the sea progressive who wanted abortions up to like viable abortions up to 9 months, yeah, like I'm gonna say, hey guys, that's too far for me, I'm gonna back out. But if it's hey, Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party and he tried to steal the last election, so it seems like in order to maintain a republic, the best way to do that is to maintain Democratic presidential control, then yeah, like I'm not going to throw my full weight behind it, but I'll throw a healthy chunk of weight behind that.
Sure. So that's like your primary motivating factor is the fact that it's a presidential election. You think that's more important than like any Senate seats or anything?
Yeah, and Donald Trump has done some things that I think are things that I can't look past. So sure. I think that, you know, trying to subvert the 2020 election the way that he did is not something I can support. So I would rather have a centrist Democrat than Donald Trump.
All right.
So you're a Larry Hogan Republican is basically what you're saying.
I would say I'm a Teddy Roosevelt Republican, but you know, there's like 6 of us, so I don't know what to do about that.
Well, I was going to say among contemporary, you know, Republicans, but yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to check these. You probably can't even say, but just like somebody said, in terms of money, 1,000 to 7,000 a month for people with PV. I feel like that 7 is so impossible to me that I was just like, no shot.
That's what
like
Steven's getting paid.
I was about to say, that's probably the rate they offered millionaires who don't even need that money to begin with. I don't think anybody in the creator chat that I'm a part of is making $7,000 a month. Okay. Very much doubt that.
Yeah. Okay. There was that. I'm trying to think of. I don't want to miss any questions that I had. I think this is like most of it.
Okay.
Were you going to be the one who babysits Darius?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh God.
Do you think you can hold him down against like if a woman walks by?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So basically what my whole goal was to make sure that people are not committing felonies. Like if they commit misdemeanors, that's okay. We can look the other way. But felonies, we kind of need to not do.
Look, Connor will just have him on a shock collar. It'll be fine.
Honestly, might be what's needed. But I mean, that's why we would need Relly anyways, because he would be the wrangler as well.
Well, I mean, for what? For Darius going to? Are you talking about Ohio?
If Darius ended up at, I know, but if Darius was in Ohio, then we would need you for wrangling.
Oh yeah. The guy, yeah. I did talk to several people and assured them that I would keep him under control. But it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. So we're chill.
Connor, can you say like the range at all on the money? Like, is that it? But it's such a. That's like what I'm most interested in. But
I was about to say, I'm sure it's between $500 and a few thousand, right? Depending on the size of the creator and how much influence they can bring to bear and the quality of their intelligence and consultation. But I'm not the one tracking the money. 2, you know, that is their discretion to, you know, I'm like a peon. I'm like a peon that's very low on the radar. I just think that what's happening is people are being more opaque about the process than necessary, and that's making it seem more nefarious than it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Literally, Pixie is also a PV person, and I literally DM'd her and I was like, hey, if I say this, and this, or whatever, and I just represent it as I see it, is that a problem? And she's like, no, I just want to make sure that people aren't shit-talking you /Wick/PV too hard. So if you need something, let me know. So, like, even when I asked for talking points, I didn't get talking points.
All right.
So.
Okay.
They were like, nah, bro, be chill. Okay, so Kelly Jean, you wanted to talk about something more interesting. So what do you got?
I'm sorry, who asked you to talk to me?
I'm asking you.
Oh, but I didn't ask for that.
Well, I'm asking that.
Well, that's unfortunate because I don't have to respond.
Well, you kind of are. So do you have something more interesting to talk about because you're so bored and you want to move on to something else?
I am telling you I am not willing to engage with you because Jstlk basically just told me off.
Don't blame
if
me for
I
that.
respond the way that I want to, I will get told off. So it's better I don't.
No, you guys can.
Okay.
Whatever. We're done with the conversation. You guys can go as hard as you want now, Kelly. Whatever you want to say.
go for it.
Nothing to do with the conversation. I just think you're a weird, unhinged individual who's just sat here coping for half an hour over the money you're getting from a different political alignment to your own.
I think
you feel
you're
the need to justify
inebriated
it,
or
but I
and you
don't
can't
care.
track a simple conversation.
I'm neither inebriated or you're just
Okay.
angry and take everything very personal, which I find very funny. So I'm going to continue to needle.
I'm actually not taking it personal. I know that when it comes to
Literally
content,
the
people
first thing
butting
you did
heads
was come
is
in
the
here
most.
and do that.
Yeah, well, I know that the content that most people like to watch is people being combative. You seem like a naturally combative person. I'm also a naturally combative person, so I don't mind being combative with you. But you acting like you're not combative and it's some kind of moral indictment against my character makes you think that you also can't track like what's going on.
I just saw you open that red square, Wolfgang. I just saw it.
They put a Ducker Z at the bottom too. These savages, these actual.
I'll be back later, guys.
What the fuck did I say that
I'll be back
suggested
as
anything
well.
was wrong with being combative?
I need to head out.
Okay, see you later, Batman.
Like when,
Bye.
where, what?
Well, you just said that
Nonsense.
I'm like an angry and unhinged person, but I would say that if I go through clips of yours, I would find sometimes that you were quite passionate and heated and maybe said some crazy
took
things.
shit that I said personally when you came in here, you loser. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you're too cool for school. Very cool, Kelly. Love it. Anybody else?
No, it's just you came in here and personally insulted me like 5-6 times, bro.
I'm going to try and
Can you
ask
recall
because
the insults?
You called me a
Jstlk
bitch twice. You called me vapid and a bunch of other shit.
Was that after you accused me of not having principles? Was that after you said that I'm only doing things for money?
I mean, I do think you're coping, yeah, because it's just for money. We agree it's
Okay,
for money.
do you remember philosophically any of the things that were said about
Would you be
conservatism or
doing it
liberalism
if
or
it wasn't for
progressivism?
money? Would you be doing it if it wasn't for money?
I have enough professional interests at this point that are paying me a substantial amount of money that I don't do things for not money now. So I don't do anything
only
that...
for the money.
Okay, let me ask.
No, it's not only for the money.
While Kelly was going off on Connor, Jstlk said so based. Now, of course, he could be laughing at the fighting that's happening, but my question is more so: do you genuinely kind of think, because that's the sense that I got, Jstlk, do you get the sense that because Connor is not progressive, he doesn't necessarily morally, ethically, whatever you want to call it, it's not consistent for him to align with progressive victory to try and kind of push more people on his side to that direction? Like, do you feel like that's morally inconsistent?
No, I think there's actually moral consistency here after the questions I asked. I just like the fighting because it's really funny.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just curious if there, because to me everything that he said sounds like reasonable. What do you call it? Bridge building, like a.
I asked the questions I needed to ask to basically like ensure there is moral consistency there, and he answered them all as I would have expected him to. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So work with the lefties.
Can I interrupt
I
for a
don't
second?
hate the gays
go ahead, Rolly.
because I like.
So
literally
Connor,
true and based.
Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that a lot. But also, there is a guy anonymous who donated $600. So
hell yeah,
base.
Somebody donated it all outright.
Nice.
So that's
well.
crazy.
I guess you can buy drinks when we get there then.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Unironically, if you want to hang out, I'll literally buy you drinks.
Okay, but don't order the most expensive stuff. Okay, what the hell?
I won't.
I never buy drinks. This will be I think this will literally be the first time I ever buy alcohol if I buy you a drink.
So, I've already made this joke like 100 times, but that's Brianna Wu giving you that money, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, have you made that joke?
I've made that joke repeatedly. When Kelly was like, "This is boring, I want to get off the topic," I was like, "How much is Brianna Wu Venmoing you right now?" Trying to get us off the truth. It's played out, but it's funny every time.
No,
yeah, she's basically George Soros.
From Brianna Wu, whatever the her name is.
All of my unhinged George Soros jokes work here. Okay, perfect.
I don't take money from content creators.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Counterpoints, are you hanging out for a bit? Or I wasn't sure if you, because you were watching your kids, but I assume you put them down, so, like, to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, permanently, yep. No, okay, so, no, I can dip if y'all got some shit that you want to do, you want to do it.
You don't have to dip. I was just seeing if you were going to
fight Kelly for the audience's entertainment unless there was a specific
go for it. I was literally just like, if I just wanted to make sure everybody had their PV questions
with
out.
more songs, I can always do that.
Yeah.
So if the PV thing isn't a big deal, then why are people making such a big deal about it then?
Because they think that there's an ethical issue where people are not saying that they're a part of PV and therefore it's actually coloring their content. My counter argument to that.
Do you disagree with that?
Yeah, do you?
No, I think the perverse incentive exists, but at the same time, like this is the argument that a lot of people don't like, but it is what I earnestly think. These people are Democrats. They want a Democrat elected. They want progressive policies passed. Why the fuck wouldn't they work with a progressive political committee in order to try to get this shit done? Also, sorry, just real quick, trying to combine online with real world politics, this is the new frontier of politics.
That's all totally fine with me. I think the issue comes when it's just not transparent, right?
Yeah,
no, I agree. Yeah, and if you boil down the argument to that, then I agree. But I just think that people are scared to say it with their chest, and they need to say it with their chest. That's it.
Sure. Okay.
Wait, so hold on. What is the coloring of the content that comes from being associated with it?
So Chud's meme suggestion was that a year ago, Wick had a panel about like a dog or some shit or dog or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of like Twitch politics content that we would get into without a financial incentive. And it's funny and weird and entertaining and up and cringe all at the same time. Whereas because he's working with PV, now he's talking about
as with this association with progressive.
It's less authentic to not talk about dog on Twitch politics. Yeah.
I get it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because do they enforce that at all? Do they try and tell you to
I'd like
do less
I'd like
controversial
to
content?
jump in here real quick. No, so there's a difference between I am now working in a professional capacity and therefore do not want to reflect badly on my employer. No one in this world has to say that. 90% of the people that start this streaming shit do it with the real life job, and until they leave that job, there's some things they won't do online. So getting associated with a professional environment and then changing your content accordingly, not in the changing your views, but changing the kind of fringe meme internet shit you do, completely natural. First point. Second point is PV is very adamant about, we're not telling you what to think. We're not telling you what to post. You're allowed to do whatever content you want. It's just about us all sharing the same values when it comes to democracy. And there are plenty of people within the space. Connor's in the space, so Connor has plenty of disagreements with everyone in the space. It's actively encouraged to debate, discuss, go forth, tell your truth. As long as we're all working towards ensuring democracy, that's the point. End of story.
I have a counter argument for that really quickly. I have a counter argument for that really quickly.
Hold on.
I'm gonna ask this question. Lycan, would it be a problem if a pharmaceutical company gave a senator a $50,000 boat and said, "We don't care what you do. We're not gonna try to influence you. We're just giving you this boat because we just like you. We just like you. So have the boat."
Yeah, that's pretty much what they do right now. Yeah.
Like, is that a problem? They're not telling anybody what to think.
In Senate, when you're doing legislation, yes. When you're working for an organization that's simply trying to uplift the voice of progressive creators, no.
Listen, well, hold up, Jstlk. This is actually an interesting thing. So right now, I think it's funny that we're talking about like ethics and standards and politics and political motivations and all that kind of shit when we're looking at our legislators, and effectively what happens is lobbyists and political action groups go straight to them or straight to their campaigns and they dump money into those campaigns, and we're just like, yeah, that's the way it is. It's democracy. It's voting with the dollar. But for it's totally normal when it's a politician, and then it's egregious.
That all has to be transparent. So this would be like a secret gift.
Yeah, so let he who has been, or she, who has been told you can't say this, or we prefer you don't, or who has felt their pressure.
No, you're not answering my question. I'm saying no suggestion from the pharmaceutical company.
It should be disclosed. Jstlk, you're totally right. If you keep asking that question over and over again, I'm going to have the same answer every time.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I should also make this clear. My whole opinion on this to start with is like, this isn't like a high enough, this isn't a scalable enough or it isn't at a scale that it can make any real difference. I don't think there's any actual harm happening here. It's like if there's like an ethical violation, it's like the same. It's a little more serious, but not but less serious than something big, but a little more serious than like rigging your 8th grade presidential class leader vote, right? It's like there could be an ethical violation, but it's like small enough right now and it's experimental that I don't think it's something to actually freak out about. I'm just enjoying the argument.
I actually, because I don't think I'm settled on this as a concept personally. So based on the limited description that I have of Connor's participation inside of this, it sounds like more or less what he's doing is like being a consultant for how to best approach individuals that like him, or even like potentially more radical. Yeah, those individuals to be able to be heard by progressives. It sounds like he's like a consultant for like their campaign, their stuff. Why should that have to be disclosed?
Well, hold on. So I think the reason why it should be disclosed is because if you're not doing anything nefarious, then you should just admit what you're doing, right? So when you kind of like play all the hush hush games, oh, I signed an NDA, I can't talk about this, I can't talk about that, people assume you're much more nefarious than you actually are. Whereas, like, if what we're doing is we're coming together as creators and we're consulting on rhetoric and how to be most effective with reaching audiences and trying to translate those audiences into real world political action, then what's the fucking problem? Like that's what politically motivated people who want to win electorally should be doing.
So I think there's three different. I think there's 3 different things here. You can hide it, you can not disclose it and just like be neutral about it, and then you can actively like disclose it. I don't think there's a moral, at least where I'm sitting right now, I'm not super decided. I don't think there's a moral necessity to disclose it. Like if somebody asks you about it, you can just be like, yeah, I do it or whatever. But like, I don't think you have to, when you take this deal, say, yes, I am consulting for this thing.
I agree with relevant, like, because I think the people the only thing I'm upset about is people trying to make it into some big issue as if it is at the level or near the level of a senator taking a deal from a pharmaceutical company and not disclosing it.
So
that's not what's happening.
You understand why I'm making that point, right?
I know, but I'm saying that, I'm biased from my knowledge of the organization, how it operates, but knowing that, and then just people going with the worst assumption of, they're probably telling them what to think, or they're biased to think the way they are. It's like, sure, think that if you want, but then dragging it out to the public just to disparage it, it's for content. You know how I feel about the content sometimes. Like sometimes it's just unnecessary. And to me, this is that unnecessary. You're not fucking solving, the next political scandal by digging into this. Dig into it if you want, but if you genuinely think it's something you need to, and not that you're going to moral grandstand, where after you turn the camera on, you actually don't give a shit about it. You just stirred some shit.
So I actually think there could be an issue there. I just want to I want to make it clear that example isn't to say that this is worse than the senator taking the gift. The point of the example is to illustrate that you can be given a gift and not have any strings attached to it, and that can influence your behavior.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so here's kind of I like to keep like a goal in my mind when we're talking about these things. So I think the goal is that we're on the frontier of online politics being relevant. When you look at the rhetoric that is on Twitter that then affects Trump, when you look at the rhetoric that's on Twitter that then affects Biden, when you look at the polling versus what's happening online, we're all trying to figure out like how these things interact. And so to try to get pseudo influential people online to have an impact on electoralism, that's like the next step in American politics. So we have to figure this out. And sure, Democrats seem more interested. I think because they're younger, they seem more interested in figuring it out faster than the Republicans. But there's nothing stopping the Republicans from doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think this is necessarily wrong. I think there's 2 things here. There's the clandestine nature, and then the excuse, or it's not an excuse. There's the motivation of like, oh, we're not being told what to say, so like we can say whatever we want. And it's like, but obviously there is a backhanded implication here that nobody is really paying attention to, that if you were to say a whole bunch of shit against progressive victory, there's no guarantee you'd keep getting money unless maybe you guys are signed through
that's
like
normal for
election
any
or
company,
something.
right?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
for
what
any
the point
company
I was going to bring up.
Sure, but it's the hiding it, and it's in conjunction with those two things.
Well, that's why I said those three. If you're hiding it, that's a problem. If somebody is asking me a question about it, and I'm like, I don't want to answer that. I don't,
well, you know
I don't
what?
wanna
Wait,
answer that.
irrelevant to your point. The reason I wouldn't want to fucking talk about it is because what people want to do with it. Like, there are people digging into it just because they fucking hate people involved and want to shit on it. So to that end, I see an incentive to be like, go fuck yourself. I'm not talking about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I don't think you like if some random Kiwi Farms, whatever, dude, comes into my chat, I'm not going to just be like, oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Like,
I'm even talking streamers.
Well, sure.
Streamers
Yeah. I have no
yeah.
idea. I'm literally just new to the idea that this is even a thing, that there's controversy about it. Literally just learned that people are getting paid. So I don't know who's talking about what, but like, yeah, if there's somebody who I believe is coming at it in bad faith, I'm not going to address it with them. But
sorry, go ahead.
That being said, there's definitely people, it sounds like Jstlk is one of them, who is calling into question or just questioning some things that I think are in good faith. And yeah, if he was like, hey, are you getting paid? Yeah, I'm not going to hide it. So I think there's, actively hiding it, and I should make an addendum from everybody, right? Actively hiding it from everybody. And then there's like just being neutral about it and just like, yeah, if the person, asks about it, then, it is what it is. And then there's just being like forthcoming with it. I've yet to hear an argument that to me sounds convincing for why I need to be proactive about this. So I keep going to Connor because he's the only example of that I've heard in detail about this. Like I said, I only heard it a minute ago. Like, if I had a consultation job, let's say with McDonald's or something like that, should I have to actively disclose that? In theory, there are things that I shouldn't be able to say. It should affect my public speech. I probably shouldn't be like, oh yeah, McDonald's is an incredibly unhealthy, whatever. It's going to affect my speech. Do I have to actively be like on my next stream proactive about it?
I think if you were actively shilling, then yeah, like you have some kind of responsibility. So for instance, like
sure.
if you're just a consultant for McDonald's, they pay you $1,000 a month in order to try different meals, and you're giving feedback to them, and it's a one-way relationship, then I don't think that needs to be publicly disclosed. However, if you're a public personality and you're a streamer and you're eating McDonald's on streams and you're talking about how fucking delicious it is and all that kind of shit, then yeah, I think that like the morally correct thing would be to disclose the relationship. Now, but while we were talking, like I just kind of thought of this relationship as well. It's like people have brought up concerns with it, but nobody's deemed whether or not it was like ethical. Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, all these people, they take like coach money or cock money all the fucking time. And you have to bear in mind that probably absolutely influences the fact that they're fiscal conservatives, and they're always arguing about deficit and tax breaks and all that kind of shit. But we just take it as assumed that it's okay because, that's capitalism and that's politics.
I mean, if they're taking that money and are they disclosing it? Is it disclosed in some way?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure that they have financial reports for the media companies that say we got our funding from this, that, the other organization.
So absolutely. Like I would be extremely concerned about that and like how it affects their opinions. But I guess you can make that argument about every news network, but even so.
Well, yeah, and I mean, people talk about that with like Boeing and all that kind of shit, where it's like Boeing and a whole bunch of other carriers. They're defense contractors, or they make jumbo jets. There's nobody who's watching CNN who is who is going to buy a jumbo jet. The reason why defense contractors and Boeing buy ad space on CNN is because they want to have favorable coverage when something involving them comes up.
Yeah, what I would say, so that's probably true. What I would say is with the major news networks, I don't know how this works with the Daily Wire, so the Daily Wire might be far more analogous. I know with the major news networks, there's like tons of regulation around how you can do political advertising, how much you can contribute, how much you can buy in ads. There's like tons of regulation around this stuff. So I think it is like a more regulated market, and it seems like potentially, and there's maybe nothing wrong with this. You got to play the game how the rules are written, right? But it seems like they're kind of getting around some of the spirits of those laws. But the Daily Wire would probably be a far worse case, I would imagine.
Yeah, and so my point would be that, like, if we already accept that these institutions are playing the games this way, then at what point are we just participating in the political process? So what happened during that conversation with Resevere got frustrated with me, and he was like, "Well, how do I know that what you're saying is actually what you believe?" and all that kind of bullshit. And it's like, how is this any fucking different than any other financial or political relationship that's ever happened in the history of fucking people?
I mean,
like, the reason why people are nice to each other is for clout relationships. The reason why people climb social hierarchies is so they can be powerful. The reason why people get money is so they can do what they want in the world with the money. This isn't different than anything else.
Sure, but I think like you've given me a ton of examples where I would question that person's opinion. Like the Daily Wire example, I would question that person's
nice
opinion.
to anyone.
But I just think like with the progressive victory money, it doesn't seem to be high enough that it's really going to majorly shift people. But
I mean, for some people, that's a pretty big chunk of cheddar. For some people, it can put them over. Especially like, I don't know who are all the creators getting paid, but some of those creators could be small enough that like allows them to have a livable wage.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I get $3 million a year for every 10 million votes I steal. So
nice.
Okay. So the non-meme answer to that, though. So Chud was partially upset that creators who might not be able to make it otherwise were relying on progressive victory dollars in order to subsidize their income so they could stream more, right? So his frustration is that he thinks that we should be playing in an even field where people live and die by their own entertainment value. I understand that, but at the same time, like, who's to say that you don't foster a talent that then becomes something bigger down the line? There are, I know for a fucking fact that there are a shitload of Twitch streamers who have rich parents who subsidize the first 2 or 3 years of them streaming fucking 8 hours a day. That way they could build a following. I know that there's other streamers who are on disability and welfare in order to pay their bills while they're becoming streamers, but they turn it into something. So for me, this isn't any different than Nepo babies and disability people doing what they need to do until they can build a following.
Yeah, but their parents and the government paying them disability isn't possibly encouraging them to vote or say certain things a certain way.
I mean, I get the political concern, but maybe.
Did you say it isn't encouraging them to vote?
I'm saying that your parents doing it that way isn't. But I'm
okay. I was going to say the welfare
thing,
though, the state thing definitely encourages.
I was actually about to say that the 10,000 IQ take would be that if you're a fucking Nepo baby whose parents are getting taxed at 40% on the fucking dollar, are you not, and you also yourself become rich, and then you're getting taxed at fucking 40% on the dollar, are you not going to be more encouraged to be like a fiscal conservative? And then same thing for the person who survived off of disability while they were building a Twitch stream. Are they not going to be influenced into supporting like democratic, like social safety nets that allowed them to thrive and survive in the first place? Now, of course, it's more direct, but you know, I'm not sure if that's entirely true.
I mean, that's literally how I grew up. I grew up on food stamps and free school lunch. And when I noticed one political party didn't really like that very much, I was like, okay, you're fucking retarded. This shit bangs. It helped me be able to fucking eat and like do productive shit during the day. So yeah, fuck you. And I started voting or leaning way more Democrat as a result of the rejection of those things from other political parties.
You said, you sound like you changed your tune and said "or" real quick instead of "and." Have you voted before, Relevant?
I tried, and literally, I have 2 last names, and I think my mom fucked up when she changed my last name, and so they prevented me. They sent me a letter and was like, "Yo, you low key fucked up on your name, so your vote doesn't."
Sucks. Oh, that's bullshit.
Yep, it really sucked.
Next year, this is your year.
Well, I'm still like unclear because they didn't tell me what my name was, and I've looked it up in several different government directories, and literally it's different depending on which one I look at. So
what's my name?
So I'm still kind of unclear, but I'm fairly confident I know. I'm like 80% sure I know what my name is, but we'll see.
Yeah,
but that's a funny conversation to have. I don't know what my name is.
Well, Kelly Jean muttered something a few minutes ago that I actually think is a point. So I was talking about how like clout and influence and people try to climb social ladders or whatever. So how is this any different? I think she muttered that she wasn't interested in climbing social ladders in the same way. So what's interesting about that is that's one of two things. You're either so high up in the social stratosphere that you don't need to climb anymore because you're so successful, you have the right friends, you can rub elbows, et cetera, et cetera. You don't need to suck up to other people because you're already in the stratosphere by yourself.
No, I'm just capable of making connections and friends or whatever without having to be someone that I'm not. I don't have to be nice. I just be myself.
Which is going to come to my second point. You're not interested in power or clout or relevance more than you already have. In politics, especially in a democratic society, is about influencing as many people as possible. So if you're not interested in climbing up the social hierarchy to a state that you can influence as many people as possible, then you're not really interested in winning in a democratic sense. So I would say this is the fucking game skill issue, and leftists who want to fucking pearl clutch about, oh, well, you're rubbing elbows with people I don't like and you're taking money that I don't like, then you just tell them, hey, you're socially irrelevant. Go fuck yourself, which is what I told Reservoir.
Damn. I was just talking personally. I don't feel the need to do that. But hey, if you're gonna make it a clout thing, like, who are you?
What about politics?
I love you guys.
Are you interested in political influence? Are you interested in...
Bye, buddy.
Bye, baby. Are you interested in certain political parties holding power?
Firstly, I'm British. The amount of like interest I'm gonna have in American politics is pretty limited.
What about British politics?
Sure, because it directly affects me.
Okay, so in reference to British politics, do you take any active interest in influencing those things, either at a local or community or state level, more than voting?
Not what it does to do with the internet. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. There are some things I spoke about on the internet, but I don't know where we're going with this conversation.
What I'm saying is that most of the people who are in Twitch and YouTube politics are interested in having some level of real world impact that coincides with their internet clout, which is relatively difficult. Not a lot of people have figured out how to do that. Destiny is actually probably the first one who has any kind of positive results. So what I would say is that the reason why you find this conversation uninteresting is because you're not interested in trying to do what probably most of Twitch and YouTube politics is interested in doing.
I'm not sure I agree with that idea.
And it's just a bunch of fucking clips on some shit game. Like, what the fuck do you do?
Wait. Sorry, I just put up fake news on my stream. Sorry, those logs didn't exist. That was fake news. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, I'm not sure I agree with.
At least I'm not fucking delusional. Yeah, like Destiny might have a little bit of influence, and he'll do well with his canvassing stuff, which went really well last time. But like the rest of you are just a bunch of megalols.
Sorry, Connor, did you say that most of the people who are streaming on YouTube or making content on YouTube and Twitch want to have real world like political impact?
I would hope that eventually they want to, yeah. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? Are we just going to do dog jerk off? Are we just going to do dog jerk off panels until we're all fucking 70?
I genuinely, yeah. I think I think a really big issue is that a lot of the people who are doing the kind of content is literally just doing it for either money or maybe, I mean, maybe it's not a huge issue, but they're just doing it because they find it like entertaining to kind of like look at this stuff. Maybe they like drama or stuff like that. I think the desire to get actually engaged with it, maybe you could say they have a desire, but that desire doesn't supersede their like
comfort and desire
laziness.
To be entertained.
Yeah. Then
no, I agree.
I can agree with that.
No, I agree with you completely. And this is like the challenge that we're talking about, actually. So I would say that Twitch and YouTube politics is probably 2 million people globally, which is not a lot, right? People who like watch it daily or weekly is probably a few 100,000 if you add up all the creators together. But it's also like a few $1 million in revenue if you add up all the biggest creators, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that you're going to have you're going to be able to mobilize 100% of Twitch and YouTube politics, because let's face it, 80% of it is drama. But I think that out of the remaining 20% of people who sincerely care about it, you might be able to break off 0.5%, 1%, 2% in order to either contribute financially or contribute through volunteering. And so I think that, considering right now those people are all doing almost nothing besides consuming content, whoever can actually mobilize an audience to do that, even in a fractional percentage, is going to set the formula for the future.
Yeah, man, could you imagine just a world where Hassan could push his disagreements with Destiny aside, worked with Destiny, and then Vosh did the same thing, and they actually did canvassing stuff? The amount of people that they could rake in would be record breaking. 100%.
That assumes that they want to make political gains. I don't.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, though. Is the idea of if this, because I already think that people like Hassan were pushed, maybe even bullied into doing more fundraising streams and doing all that. He used to never do it, ever. And it was something that he got a lot of criticism for and stuff like that. And he got pushed into doing it. And now he does it considerably more than when he did it in the past. I think that a similar effect can happen with trying to push people into doing, this real world political work. And if it does, that shit can pop off.
And really, just to share an idea that I had that I think would be fucking awesome, right? I don't like the fringe left. I don't like the fringe right. I think that centrists and moderates have more in common than they don't. I think that we probably could build a half decent society, but part of the problem is people feel powerless. So one of the things that I would want to do, which I'm kind of still back channeling right now, is I would want to approach some of these more moderate packs, and I would want to say, hey, we're broken, we're a fucked up society, nobody knows what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. So in order to actually have real impact on real people, every single time there's a disaster, I want to get a team of half a dozen to a dozen people. I want to fund it. I want to get local volunteers to go do disaster relief for a week or two after the disaster. And then while we're doing that, we want to build political connections with the local community, just to get the local community kind of knit more together, but also to build a national infrastructure. And then leverage that into electoral results, so the more moderate people can see electoral results as the result of disaster relief. And I think that that's something that would be incredibly white pilling to communities, to see politically involved, passionate people actually showing up to help them in a time of need, and then translating that into political change as well.
I think that is the a gold standard for how to build your influence inside of a given region. I genuinely want to know what the viewer of political content, what their willingness to engage in this action is. What would it take the average Twitch politics viewer, YouTube politics viewer to do anything?
Meeting one of their favorite parasocial streamers. I think that's one of the main things. It being local, it being cheap, it being accessible, and then meeting one of their favorite parasocial crushes. So I think the reason why there's 300 and change people showing up to Cincinnati is largely because of Destiny. But it's not just Destiny. It's also potentially you. It's also Erudite. It's also Lycan. It's a few other people or whatever who kind of add to the ensemble of people who have parasocial relationships with. And so as a result, if they live in Cincinnati already, they're down for it. And then if they live in the Northeast, they'll think about it. And then some of those people can afford it and some of those people can't.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Sorry, Kelly Jean.
That's why I think
did you want to share something with the class?
I think you're delusional.
How so? Please explain it to me.
I don't know. What kind of people are you going to mobilize in your suspended Twitter, mate? Your following is non-existent. I have no idea why you're getting paid for anything. It's burning money.
Wait, you're suspended on Twitter?
So, well, I lost my 20K account. I still have a 3K account. So, Kelly Jean, Okay, hold up. So this is why I called you the B word earlier, is because I'm
you're a
talking.
loser.
I'm about to say the C word. So,
Oh no.
Relly. Okay. Let me try to get this idea out without cussing you out. Relly and I, because we're in the same room together, we were talking about like politics, how to make it effectual, how to get real world impact, et cetera, et cetera. Your thought process, this is one of the things where I'm thinking that you're a thoughtless bitch, is because what you heard me and him talking about how to have real world effect, and your response was to big dog me on how many Twitter followers I have. Do you see where I might get the impression that you're a vapid, soulless asshole?
Do you think it's not correct that I'm saying you're a complete waste of money? Because what fucking influence do you have?
Do you think that I could offer other value besides being an influencer?
I highly doubt it.
See, this is where I think you're a cunt, because I have 15 years of professional experience doing a whole bunch of other things besides YouTube and Twitch and Twitter.
Yeah, making really shitty videos on fucking game nobody plays. Brilliant. Cool.
See, that's funny that you're saying that while I just broke 60,000 subs. I routinely break 1 million. My low point is 500,000. It's a growing channel. I'm making money off of it while I'm still working full time. So you're still big dogging me.
Opium.
But yeah, so how did you make your money, out of curiosity?
I'm a cosplayer, bro.
Oh, so you were hot.
Sure, but it took more than that. There's a lot of hot girls on the internet that don't go anywhere.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Why are you diminishing all of his side accomplishments and be able to edit? do
Because
research
I'm
for
not
fucking Warhammer?
delusional that I'm gonna be causing
Well, he
any
just
kind of
diminished her
change.
cosplaying.
Well, yeah, of course, right? But
I think that was a
Right.
response to the
yeah,
original.
come on. Like again, obviously, okay, I can sit here and me and Kelly have lots of disagreements, but obviously, I'm not gonna just sit there and say like, oh, she's just hot. There's hot women that can like fucking buy costumes at a Halloween fucking store and it looks like trash, right? Obviously, there's more work that goes into that. Same fucking thing with fucking with Connor, right? I've seen his Warhammer videos. It's not just like literally like he's putting.
I've seen his Warhammer videos too.
That's
Warhammer
thanks,
is gonna
Wolfgang.
get
That's what I was
people
gonna say.
into American politics.
No, obviously fucking not. But if you're passionate about something, if you can make like 12% fucking influence, like move the needle, even like 0.1%, why not fucking do it? And if you're fucking get paid for it, fine too. But why diminish like the desire to make difference? It's so fucking.
So actually, hold on. I'd love to dig into this. Kelly
I want
Jean,
to find
were
out
you?
that other people earlier in this call were also making fun at the amount of money that was given to very small creators. Okay, you can cope that it was just me saying it, but
No,
hey.
sure. I wasn't entirely paying attention. Maybe whoever, to all of you who said that, why diminish him? You foul people.
It was before you came in, Wolfgang, and it wasn't Counterpoint specifically, Jesus.
Okay, so Kelly Jean, how did you become a successful creator?
I made cosplays and I put them on the internet.
Okay, and how were you paying your bills before that? How?
How was I paying my bills before that? I had another job.
What was that other job?
I was doing care work whilst I was at uni.
Okay, and did you pay 100% of your bills by yourself?
Yeah, but I also got maintenance grants and shit because I'm at uni and our university system isn't shit like America's. I don't know.
Okay, so you went through school and you were a home health care person?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, then I'm not going to shit on that. That's fucking based. So then you started doing cosplay shit and it
No, I was
took
doing
off?
cosplay before then. I did cosplay since I was like 12.
Okay. And so how many years did it take to develop the skills in order to make it successfully?
I mean, people didn't really use cosplay as a means for making money to start with. When I was a kid, it's not something I was thinking of. It's just something I enjoyed.
So how long do you think it took you to develop? So one, how long did it take you to develop the skills in order to be able to do what you do? And then two, how long of dedicated side hustling did it take before you quote unquote made it big.
Is this going anywhere?
Yes, it is. I'm asking you a question. I'm trying to figure out who you are.
Where's it going?
Why don't you answer the question?
Because this is very boring stuff that nobody cares about.
I care about it.
Well, I don't care that you care.
Okay. This is, again, why I think you're a bitch. My point, where I was going, is that I didn't want to just create content. My parents aren't rich. They didn't pay my rent and they didn't subsidize my college. I did all of that shit myself. Also, I thought that when I came into the online sphere, I should have something to say. So what I did is I went into the military. I served 4 years in the military. I went to Iraq while I was in the military. I put myself through college. I got a bachelor's degree. Then I became a law enforcement officer and I did 4 years of law enforcement. I really enjoyed all of those experiences, but they were pretty fucked up. Then I started content creation, I believe in 2019, and I was doing politics, content reviews, reactions, breakdowns. I was just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck. My politics stuff, not so great. My Warhammer stuff did very well. So what I did is I split the content. As a result of splitting the content in summer of 2022, I now have a middlingly successful Warhammer channel, and I want to get that to fully successful to the point that I can go full-time, and then I want to use that so I can do political side projects. So do you have a beef with any of the shit that I just described to you as my life's journey, or am I too small for you to give a fuck?
No, I just don't know who asked, like, for your fucking backstory.
Yeah, you're a cunt. You're a vicious cunt.
It's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything I was saying? Jesus, I don't want your life story, bro.
Because you big dogged me on Twitter follows. You said that I have nothing to contribute to the political space.
Because you're trying to be Delulu in my earshot.
Okay, the Lulu was
Okay.
funny. Okay.
You're
I'll give
a
her
cunt.
that. The Lulu's funny.
You're a cunt, and that's all you've got, bro. At least
No,
get
you're
more
saying it like a
creative with your
child. I'm being
fucking insults.
descriptive. No, I'm not trying to be creative with my insults. I'm trying to
I
describe
know,
back
I
to you
can
reality. Yeah, I'm trying to describe back to you your reality. You're a vicious, cruel, weird asshole who thinks you're better than anybody else while still being an absolute dog shit human being. People put up with you because you being mean to other people is entertaining. But besides that, I can't figure out a single thing that you offer besides being mean in a funny way.
But I do offer something.
Yeah, being mean in a funny way and being relatively attractive to the point that you can make a living off of it. That's what you offer the world.
Yeah, brilliant. What do you offer?
Plenty of fucking things. I described some of them to you a minute ago, but you don't care.
Why would anyone care?
I should have like probably said this like 10 minutes ago to you guys. But Connor, you're gonna try to engage in good faith here, and it's never going to work. Because you came at Kelly early on in the conversation. Well, no, you came at Kelly early in the conversation.
When someone doesn't engage,
it's just never. It's just like never gonna happen. So you guys can just throw insults if you want, but like the good faith engagement's not gonna actually work. So you might as well just throw insults.
Here's the thing. So I'm not. Okay, well, I'm not really good faith engaging.
Well, you were, and I should have said something because I said something to Wolfgang.
No.
Yeah, I just replied to
so
here's right now.
Here's what I'm really doing. Not everybody is going to like a 3-minute rant about politics and progressivism and conservatism, right? But you and I and Relly and some other people around here, we all are in the Twitch and YouTube political space. So a healthy chunk of people within that space will appreciate a 3-minute rant about history, philosophy, and politics. When Kelly Jean can't respond to that in an intelligent way, and all she can say is, who cares, who mega lol.
It had nothing to do with my ability to respond. You just put out a whole lot of information that had nothing to do with anything I was asking, and nobody asked. Nobody cared. I don't want to know what your philosophical thought is, because I didn't fucking ask. And why would anyone here want to know that? Like,
you asked me why I wasn't a hypocrite for working with progressives.
And none of that like countered that at all. You're just like fucking.
This is where you're retarded
about a bunch of shit that nobody asked.
Yeah, you're retarded.
No,
you don't have the ability to absorb information and repeat it back.
Philosophical thought is not a counterpoint to
Connor,
anything I was fucking
I don't want to. I don't want to talk shit. Just no. I just have to say I don't want to talk shit. But I just told you that this wasn't going to work, and you're continuing to try. So you know, it's the pot calling the kettle black right now. Okay, just chill.
Okay, so if anybody else wants to talk about anything else, I'm down.
No, I'm down for this, but I'm just trying to warn you.
But I think that people, the reason why you have Kelly Jean on is because she's an entertaining bitch. So I'm giving
Yeah.
her the opportunity to be entertaining and a bitch. So this should actually be serving your content just well, because if you clip this up into like 30 to 45-minute segments where it's like, Kelly Jean is a total bitch for no fucking reason, I guarantee you'll get above average viewership on it. It'll be fantastic.
Maybe.
Why
I don't have an
He's
editor right now.
warning
I think
you
my editor is dealing with
because-
some shit.
He's warning you because you are in the room with me, not the other way around.
Why would you
I don't
Rorschach
care.
him?
I'm just
Dude,
going to annoy you. I'm just going to annoy you until it's time to go to bed, and then I'm going to go
You're
to bed.
not locked
That's
in
all that's
here
gonna
with
happen.
me.
It's
I'm
not
locked in here with
possible to
you.
annoy me.
I think I'm
I
already
just
doing
don't
a
understand why
relatively
you
okay
have to go
job
for
right
like
now.
the sexist insults though. Like that I don't understand. Like
Because
Because she's a woman and a sex worker, and I'm a little bit sexist.
Hold on,
okay.
I don't know if she's
well,
a
at least you
sex
admit
worker.
it.
I wonder if that goes with progressivism
Also,
as well.
Connor, you gotta get her on the
It
Misfits
doesn't,
page. You
because I'm
can't-
not a
you can't let her
progressive.
walk
We already
away.
went over that, Kelly.
Yeah,
G.
but you're really selling that concept as someone that should be held up monetarily, right?
Maybe because I offer something else, something that we've
Kinda
also
seem
already
like
discussed.
A lot of these values don't align too good. Which are the ones that do align well, other than the not hating the gays?
Okay, I mean, you're
Nope.
brilliant.
Any
You can
any
contribute to the
explanation you
conversation.
give here will not be parsed or considered. She'll just say who asked, even though she asked.
No,
Okay,
I did
but
ask. I've never said who asked unless it was
Okay.
something that I didn't
Go for it,
ask.
Connor. It'll
Okay,
work,
so
totally.
well, actually, you want to so I can address your question directly. You just want to ask it again, then?
All he gave me was, I don't hate the gays.
Yeah, that's a relatively centrist perspective these days.
Is that it?
I also don't hate the blacks or the Hispanics.
The blacks.
Pretty centrist on immigration.
Ah, this is so sad. Okay.
I'm not an interventionist.
Fringe.
Okay. So anyways, you said that you were capable of engaging in the conversation, but, you know, did you want to share any of your
I don't
insights
know, man.
into
I thought
Burke?
maybe the third time around you would give me something more insightful, but I guess I was just on
Okay.
Googam.
See, okay, this is where you are so fucking retarded that I am getting exhausted now. So you might actually get your desire. I might leave in a couple of minutes. So here's the thing.
Really
Edmund
hope so.
Burke is one of the most interesting and insightful and intelligent human beings who has ever walked the fucking planet. And I cited to you the basics of his philosophy that allows me to work with people who I'm not immediately politically aligned with. You have nothing to say about Burke. I doubt you know who the fuck he is. And even though I described his philosophy to you, you probably can't repeat back to me what's functional about it or how it makes society interesting. So since you're capable, right? You're bored, humegalol, you're so cool, you're so big, et cetera, can you demonstrate to me that you have the capacity to engage with conservatism or progressivism as a concept?
Burke is a fucking English name. Why do you care about British people?
Because I'm from an Anglo country.
I've refused. No, everyone hates bongers here. I don't think that's true.
Okay. Burke is an ethnically Irish English statesman who was around during the French Revolution and the American Revolution.
Yeah, one of my friends is named Burke.
Well, maybe they're related. Do you have anything to offer in reference to the philosophy of conservatism or progressivism or the history of the country or how people can work together in a political sphere?
What? Why are you asking me these random fucking ass questions?
Because I'm trying to demonstrate that you're incapable of higher level thought or engagement.
No, just because I'm not interested in your fucking dog shit questions. Like, you don't give me shit. I say, hey, you got more than this, and you just give me nothing.
Okay.
I never asked these fucking questions.
I asked you a question. Okay. I asked you a question. I'm going to ask it
Edmund
again.
Burke is, and I said they sound British, mate. Why the fuck do you care?
Because they're the father of conservatism. So I have asked you actually probably half a dozen to a dozen times throughout the entirety of this conversation. Okay. Because you fucked a guy who's big in politics.
I didn't fuck any guys in politics. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
Oh,
Anyways,
you just
I don't
assume
wanna-
everyone that's a woman in this sphere has fucked Destiny. Well, I
Well,
haven't. You
oh.
loser.
That's good. Anyways, so
And
you're
just for
kind
the
of involved.
reference, no hate to
Uh-huh.
any of the women that have. This guy's just a raging sexist who can't control himself.
Okay. So honestly, I'm just going to ask this question over and over again until you either give an answer or we're a half a dozen times down me asking the same
No,
question.
I never
where I
asked
feel
you
like
to
I've
ask
proved the
me
point.
questions.
Yeah,
Why
I
the
know.
fuck do you
All
think
I'm
you're,
doing is I'm demonstrating that you are incapable of having an intellectual conversation. That's all
For
I'm trying
some
to do.
reason, you want to bring up a really old guy who had some shit to do with, like, the conservatives, like, several hundreds of years ago. I don't.
Okay,
Why would I
so do you want to
to
share?
know
So
this?
ignore Burke. Ignore Burke. Do you
I
have any
was.
insights or any commentary about progressivism or conservatism or how to get political people to work together?
Why would I sit here and even bother doing that? I don't want to bore people to
Because you're
tears.
incapable
No, it's
of
not
doing
because
it.
I'm incapable. It's because you're making a bunch of
Kelly
really
Jean.
strange demands of me, and I'm saying you're being weird.
Kelly Jean, I have listened to you. I've listened to half a dozen Jstlk streams where you were involved. Whenever somebody backs you into a corner
Oh,
in which
you
they
don't have
ask you
much to
to
do, do you?
engage,
That money's being well
good
spent.
one, bro. You got them. So every single time that anybody ever tries to get you to engage with anything that's higher level, you back off and pretend you're better than the conversation. So what
Higher
I'm wondering right
level?
now
Fuck is
is
like
if you
spurging
even
about
have
Edmund Burke mean you're higher level?
okay,
Like, what are you even
because
talking about?
because I read books about people. So what I'm wondering is if you even have
I
the
have read
neurons.
books. I just haven't read into like the political history of the conservatives from like 300 fucking years ago, mate. Like, why would I do that? That sounds
Okay,
boring as shit.
Harry Potter doesn't count. So what I'm wondering is,
I
do
literally
you
said
have?
earlier, I went to university, you clown.
There are plenty of terrible universities on the planet.
I went to
So
Kent University. It's not bad university. Thank you.
okay. So what I'm wondering at this point is from maybe a decade of not using your brain or just being pretty for a long time, if you
No.
even have the neurons left in your skull capable of firing in a sequence that's capable of
Do you have
building
anything
paragraphs
that's not
about
just trying
politics.
to pathetically and like attack my intelligence? Do you have anything else?
Do you have the capacity to articulate an intelligent sentence?
Yes, I've done on many occasions, buddy, but I don't do it a demand just because you ask for it.
Okay, then I look forward to the next time you do so, and I will be happy if somebody is nice enough to send me a clip of
Nacho
it.
Mama's in here,
Because
by the way.
who?
Oh, that would be more
Nacho
Oh,
Mama's
interesting.
Christ.
by the way.
Okay. Well,
Boom. Hello, Nacho Mama.
Uh-oh.
I'm.
What the hell is
I
this?
think Nacho Mom is not quite so happy with you, Kelly, so just be careful.
Hello, everyone.
Ah,
Nacho
I
Mama.
don't,
Mama.
I don't know that happy
Well, I've already been
is-
called a bitch 20 times. I don't
Well,
think it'll
no,
matter.
it's
one
probably
time.
more like 30 because I've said it too. Okay.
Based.
I'm just gonna be real with you, Kelly. Like, as a female, I believe that females
Just keep in mind, you wouldn't be in here if I didn't just
Okay.
drag you in.
as a female, I believe that females should stick together and stand together. But you're giving females a bad name today, girlfriend.
Ah, this is the why I
A
hate
girl's
women
girl.
trope. We love
No,
Girl's
I don't hate
girl.
women. I love people. Okay, not just women. I love people. People that are cool. Okay. Once
I don't know
you
what this
you
has to do with
show
me being a woman.
once you
Why not let me
you the
finish?
one that said it, Hooker. You said this is the I hate
Whoa.
women talk.
Whoa.
You fucking
Hey,
Why
said
are
it.
you
yo.
calling me a hooker? It had nothing
Because,
to do with being a
excuse
woman.
well, you do have a lonely fans page. I'm just saying. Okay.
I'm
my
not a
You do have
hooker. I
Here
lonely
too, by
don't
the way.
even do porn or nudes, okay, lady?
Uh,
Yeah, so don't
look,
judge.
Wick's
Well-
in here too.
Well, that's because honestly,
Okay.
you're not cute enough to do porn.
Why is
nudes.
mind
Let's be
weights
real.
here? Nobody cares about that lol
I
cow.
mean, Nacho Mama, that's
Getting
clearly
judged
not true,
by, like,
but
an old fat woman.
you can
That's
continue.
strange.
No,
Jesus.
I mean it from
Kelly,
the
Oh, this is
inside
going
out.
off the rails.
Kelly,
Oh
the
no.
hell?
I mean it from the inside out. Beauty comes from the inside out. Your
Uh.
outside can be beautiful, but your inside can be a bitch, and it makes you ugly overall.
Oh no, I'm a bitch. So what counter are we at now? Is
I
that the
said-
only response we've got today?
I didn't know Michael, they're
No, we
not,
asked
dude.
you to articulate intelligent sentences for like 20
You
minutes.
asked me to articulate what you want me to like respond to. I said I am not interested. You therefore assume that it's
You could
based
tell
on my
me about
intelligence.
anything, and I would listen. I would listen to you about marine biology,
Nice.
astronomy, astrology. I would listen to you talk about fucking rocks or minerals or geology
You're
or
such a
history or
liar.
whatever.
Yeah,
I
is a
literally want
lie.
to hear.
People
I want to
complain when I
hear
talk about what
anything.
I want to talk about.
I want to hear it.
No, you
Please
don't.
indulge me.
I would
No.
seriously like to hear your intelligence
Indulge
level.
me.
Why am I
Indulge
being
me.
judged on intelligence by?
Because we're asking you to
What, by
demonstrate
an
that you
older
have
person who
some
has
and you're
10 times the
refusing for
intelligence you
prolonged
do?
periods of time.
No, just by bottom feeders that have no clout. That's why they're here.
Who
I don't
cares
even
about
need to be in
clout?
Twitch poll, you dumb bitch. I
Nobody
could just
gives
go
two
off and
shits
be a
about
fucking
clout.
Warhammer person. You keep saying it in
So-
a kiddie voice, but I'm saying it very calmly. And also on top of that, I would love it
yeah,
if you
you
could
sound
just
very calm.
indulge me. Can you put, like, as a matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be intelligent. Can you give me 3 sentences strung together?
Why do you think that I have to do anything on demand for you? That's very
That's
weird.
one.
Because
That's
that's
one.
because that's 1 sentence, and you've only been capable of doing that the entire night.
Why save any word when less word do trick?
Okay,
Okay,
I
Blunt
count
good.
that
worth
as
my
kind of
energy.
two. I count that as how have to. That one's almost there. But we're almost at we're there.
I have a question for Kelly. You said you went to university. Did you graduate?
Yes.
What was
With what
your
degree?
degree in?
Did you, Nacho Mama?
What
go
was
to
your degree
university?
in? What was your degree in?
Don't sound like someone that went to university. Just
I'm
a
asking a
guess.
question you can't answer. What was your degree
I
in?
can answer it. It doesn't mean I want to answer it because it's got nothing to do with you.
Well, that was 2 sentences.
Oh wait, can I clarify something here? Because
Do
it
you
seems
not
like
remember?
there's a bit of confusion. For
There
anybody
is-
who's wondering,
hold on. There is no confusion. Kelly's been trolling this entire time. There's never been a chance of any actual dialogue happening, and I've said it. This is now the 4th time I've said it. Okay, so you guys can keep
Okay.
going if
Well,
you want,
I'm
but I've
tired,
like
so I'll
said
stop.
it
What was
so
the
many
first
times.
hint when I started like rapping Eminem? I thought that would have been obvious.
wait, did you actually rap?
Okay,
She
it
did,
wasn't
a
that
little
great,
bit.
but she did. Yeah, come on. It wasn't like.
Wait, are you
like-
serious?
pretty
Does somebody
funny.
have a clip of that?
She
I'm
was
sure
kind of
someone's got a
singing
clip
it.
of
She
it.
was singing it. She wasn't
Hey,
rapping.
no
She was
way.
singing it.
Yes, near enough, bro.
You gotta rap.
Okay, we
No.
have to
No, she-
cycle some people in here. I don't know. I'm kind of done with the PV stuff, but if people want to do the PV stuff more, Wick and Mindwaves are here. And I don't know, they're probably going to argue with each other.
Fucking mind waves.
Nacho Mama, are you done yelling at Kelly? I'm sure she feels really bad, okay?
Oh, I'm not. I didn't come in here number one to yell. And the only reason I'm here is because Chad asked me to join. To be real with
We
you,
do love
I
having
don't-
you here.
Yeah, I don't give 2 shits about clout.
Yeah, I
but
know.
Kelly. I just feel like you seem like you're in a bad mood, or actually, you seem like you don't want to be here.
He's grumpy. He's grumpy. I noticed it too. I think it's because he hasn't eaten his food yet. I messaged him. I was like, hey, you okay? He's like, nah, man. My tummy kind of empty. Not feeling so great. And I was like, you know what'll cheer you up? Me coming on. So I don't know if he's eaten since I've arrived, but.
Who are you talking about?
About you.
Oh.
I said
boy.
Kelly.
What? I'm not
No,
grumpy.
I just said Kelly. Kelly,
Oh.
you seem annoyed to be here. Are you
Oh,
annoyed to be
never
here?
mind.
I didn't correct Wolfgang because that was just funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
all right.
go.
Nacho Mama, you can totally come on almost anytime you want, but we actually have kind of a purpose here tonight. So
I
I'm
understand. Hey,
Yeah.
y'all keep having fun. Kelly, look, do your thing, girlfriend, but you do seem a little bit annoyed. So try to smile and enjoy life a little bit more.
Yeah,
Y'all
smile
have a
more.
fantastic night.
No,
Thanks, Nacho
I like
Mama.
being this way.
okay. I'm moving Wick and Mindwaves in. If it starts getting heavy, I'm gonna move anybody who's not directly in the like PV talk right now out. But if it's like light and nobody's
Oh.
interrupting, it's totally fine. Yeah, you're
you
good.
wanna
I'm
You gotta
gonna
go. It's good.
chill. I'm gonna chill to see what Mindwaves and Wick got, and then honestly, after that, I'm probably gonna dip.
All right.
Yo,
Hey, Wick.
jeez. Long time.
Good
no-
evening.
Howdy, guys. How's it going?
Good, and you?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Skateboarding?
Excellent.
Not so much. It's pretty cold right now, so.
Well,
I was told you wanted to talk to me, so here I am.
Well, we did want to do the progressive victory stuff, but then Connor came in. We did the progressive victory stuff. So, but
let's do it another time. It will be 4 times. Fucking brilliant. Love this.
Well, we'll see.
Look,
I
all know
assume Mindwaves has
"Hey,
some
I wanna talk to
issues.
you."
So now if Mindwaves has some more issues with PV, he's going to represent that side of it.
I do have some issues. I think it's really gay and retarded to start moralizing this whole issue, so I'm not going to do that. I think the people that are is kind of cringe, but I think the big problem I have with you, Wick, is that, and not just you, it's
With
also
me?
yeah, with you, and it's not just you, it's
Okay.
also people more broadly in the commentary I've seen on this issue, is that I feel like even just a couple of years ago, everybody in this space would have laughed at anybody sitting here pretending like their stream or their channel or their presence on the internet is like a political project. And you were a part of that as well, mocking people that would pretend like their channel is a political project, etc., whatever. But now that you're receiving money to talk about certain issues, now all of a sudden you're acting like you have this influence while you're streaming to 50, 60 people every day about whether or not feminism's based or not. Like, are you really going to tell me that your channel is a political project and you're not just cashing in and being opportunistic?
Oh no, that sounds like a
Well,
Killy
first of all-
Jean argument. I better go kill myself now. Anyone got any bleach for me to drink?
Fucking hell, what's your address?
Or just like imagine this is bleach.
First of all, the only time I was given specific things to talk about wasn't connected with progressive victory. It was a different thing, Rebellion Pack. They sponsored 2 streams that they gave me a fixed amount to host on a specific topic, which I did, right? All my other streams, all my other content is my own, right? I am not paid to make any specific content. I'm not paid to talk about any specific thing. What I am paid to do is go to a meeting once a week and give my opinions on shit. That's what it is.
And can I? Yeah. So this is me. I'm not talking for PV, but this is what I would think the aspiration is. I don't think anybody is thinking that individually a 30 or a 50 or even a 200 view streamer is gonna change the fucking face of the world single handedly. The whole point of this is that there's a lot of money, there's a lot of time, there's a lot of tension in Twitch and YouTube
And you're
politics.
happy to take
And how
some
do
of
you?
it.
And how do you convert that? So do you. What the fuck is that
Yeah,
indictment?
Who am I
look,
taking money
Anyways.
if you want to
from?
give me money
I
to
don't
talk
fucking
and give my
know.
opinion once a week, I will do that all
Okay,
day.
but hold on.
We
But
know
the
you're
point
already
is
doing
to-
it.
Okay, but the point is to convert some of the time, energy, and attention into real world shit. Like the canvassing that's happening on the 10th and the 11th. Like getting a bunch of basement dwellers out of their fucking houses so they can actually have an impact on electoral politics. Like trying to get people who are fucking blackpilled to actually try to get out and engage with the world.
Yeah, I don't see the issue here. Like, what?
No, but, well, actually, I would like to hear Mindwaves rebut that. Is there a problem with trying to translate the online political realm into the real world?
No, I don't think so. And I actually think it's a worthwhile goal of progressive or any political project to sort of or organization to, you know, use capital to influence politics, whether it be in online spaces or otherwise, right? I really don't have a problem with people handing out money to sort of influence the direction of discourse online or something like that. Like other people have pointed out, conservatives do that all the time, right? To say that progressives shouldn't, for moralistic reasons, would be shooting yourself in the foot. So I have no issue with that. The problem I have here is the lack of honesty and transparency. I don't like the pretending like this isn't money trying to influence your content, which is, I mean, you're not just getting money just because you're a nice guy. That's never.
Look.
that might be true of your donors, but yeah, no. And then I also don't think my problem, not even with you personally, Wick, is I have a problem with a organization like that trying to funnel money into a failed streamer with literally no influence in politics outside of the 40 to 50 people he streams to every day or whatever.
Do you know, just today, I had Destiny and No Opinion on. Do you know who No Opinion is?
I get it, Wick. You feel like you're
No,
important
just
because
real
you
quick,
rub
because
shoulders
this
with
is
more
important.
bright
Hold
and
on,
more
this is
accomplished
important.
streamers than yourself.
I don't
important.
pick on Wick
This is
specifically,
important.
right? Like, let him get his bag, bro.
Sure. This
Good
is
for him.
important because to say that because my view count is lower than a lot of people's, and it is, that I have no influence in the space is simply wrong. The ability to pull and to communicate and to interact with bigger names, right, outside of this space and pull them in has value, right? And I understand that if you are only looking at this through the metrics of a streamer who only streams online to get his online bag, that is what you focus on. When you look outside of that space to the political world as writ large, you can see that while that is a metric, there are other metrics as well. The influence and the networking that you are able to bring to the table is something that I am able to do. Now, again, am I the best streamer ever? Obviously not. But if they want to pay me because they value me, that's their business and that's my business.
Well, hold on, Mindwaves. I kind of want to illustrate this a little bit more, and I actually want to ask you a question. So when you were hosting the panels that shit, like I think probably inspired a generation of young people to get into Twitch and YouTube poll.
Yeah.
100%.
For better or for worse.
How many, like compared to the larger streamers that you were working with, what was your view count?
Well, my view count maybe averaged 100 when I wasn't doing panels. When I was doing panels, those streams would maybe average out to anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000.
Okay,
depending on how hype the week was.
So I'm saying that other people might try to big dog like 1,000 to 2,000 and be like, "Oh, what's your influence?"
And that's not what I'm trying to do. To be clear,
but hold up, sure. But I just want to point out that your panels, despite you being a 100 viewer Andy who mega lol, who got 1,000 to 2,000 viewers, your panels got me into Twitch and YouTube politics. Okay. So acting like, just because small people don't have a outsized influence on their specific channel, they can't create content that doesn't impact hundreds of thousands of people. It's wrong.
Sure. My issue is that, well, that is a completely I mean, yeah, that could be the case, right? Yeah, I'm not denying that Wick might inspire the next great politics streamer.
God willing.
Or even just somebody who sets up other people.
Sure.
They don't have to be good. They don't have to be good in of themselves, dude. Danabo,
no, I am good in of it myself, guys. Don't forget, I'm a
Wick is phenomenal in and of himself, but Danabo, I'm pretty sure, has never gotten a streamer metric in his entire fucking life, and he was the backbone of Twitch poll for like a year.
Yeah, or more. Yeah. The thing is that we're talking about. My issue here, to be very clear, is that I don't think that that's an efficient use of money to funnel into creators like Wick, whose channel is on a consistent decline, despite getting money to
You're just mad
make
that I'm not getting
content.
as many viewers as before? Is this all this is?
No, Wick. I'm saying that there are
this is a little bit weird.
There are many other streamers that I think like the money would be better used for, right? So like I have no problem with an organization like Progressive Victory or otherwise trying to funnel money into influence politics. What I'm saying is that
names and names.
Names and names?
Yeah, you said
yeah.
Literally anybody but you, Wick. Like the
bro, what the
No, the thing is,
I know you got this tape on here. So this is the thing.
Okay.
I want everyone
this
to
is dishonest,
understand
Wick. You're just being dishonest. You're being obtuse.
Most of this criticism that you're facing from Mindwaves, from Resi, from Beckett, from Queeman, from all these people are not based on honesty. They're based on hate and rage. That is envy and jealousy is what you're seeing here. They are mad. They are angry. They hate Brianna Wu.
Yep.
They hate.
They just hate me because they ain't me, right?
Ways. They're looking for ways.
So you have such a big head.
Mindwaves. I want to
ask. You think so highly of yourself.
Mindwaves.
You genuinely think you're affecting politics because you receive a paycheck for attending a meeting.
Mind
be
waves.
real here,
I
dude.
want to ask you who else, and even if you don't have a name, I kind of want to tell you why your thinking might be flawed. But do you have any names off the top of your head?
No, I don't. And the thing
Okay,
is that
so hold on.
my
Let me
point
tell
stands
you.
without having an example on hand.
You
Let me-
haven't made a
Let me
point
tell
yet.
you.
I have.
Let me
Wick.
tell
Just
you
open
why.
your ears.
Okay. Let me tell you why I think your thinking might be flawed. Okay. The reason why your thinking might be flawed is because there are people who probably have an outsized influence. Let's just say Destiny is the clear example. That's probably what everybody's thinking off the top of their mind.
Sure.
He doesn't need the fucking money. He doesn't
Sure.
need it. He might not even want it because he probably doesn't want to modify his schedule in order to do whatever shit that Progressive Victory wants him to do.
Sure.
So he'll come and help out. He'll recruit for the Progressive Victory, canvassing event. He'll do this, he'll do that, but he doesn't need the fucking money. And then if you're talking about like medium-sized creators, I think that who the fuck is it? Pondering Politics is the perfect example. Pondering Politics is a part of PV. It was a decent
I think that's
amount
great.
of money.
Look, if you look at his channel, he clearly does have a growing amount of influence. He's on an upwards trajectory. He has an audience
in the past 60 days.
Yes, and he's demonstrated
a little
an
bit
ability...
longer than that, in my opinion. But exploded is true. Like I think he's
And-
been
Well,
exploding for
tell me
like
the timeline.
months.
Yeah, and he's demonstrated a willingness and an
We can
ability
check Social
to
Blade.
create compelling
Yeah.
content consistently.
So you
right?
so you just don't like Wick's content or the fact
No,
that
it's
he's a
not
part
even
of
about
PV?
that. No, it's a
fact,
combination of
Pondering
it's a
Politics
What is it
combination it's a
about?
combination of two
Fun fact,
things, right?
Pondering Politics, we're backing it up. Me and Pondering Politics have worked with each other since he was ruminating.
You guys
right?
are
I've had him
so
on for quite a while.
content brained. You guys
I'm
are
not
so
trying to
deep.
be obtuse. I'm asking you.
You guys are so deep in the sphere that all you guys can think about is viewer count, as if that's the only thing that I think is relevant here.
You came
when I made
in
it
to talk
no.
to criticize
Wick,
me
listen
for my
to me
viewer
instead of
count.
trying to talk over me, right? Listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the problem is not disclosing the money you're getting.
You're just fucking nuts.
I'm nuts. Yeah, sure. The problem is not disclosing that you are getting money to influence your content and the direction of your content. And the second issue is not doing that while wasting that money on a failed streamer with no influence who actively pretends like they have more influence that they
When
do.
you talk about this dishonesty,
It seems like
that
they're
is
wasting like a lot of money. It's not like just fucking Wick. That seems a bit too personal to be like directing all of this.
And it's
like,
not even
vitriol
about
at
Wick. It's not about Wick. The whole thing. It's the idea.
Of the
It's the
level
idea of
criticism
giving
that
money
goes
to
about
anybody
this.
like Wick, right?
Oh,
The
here's the
idea
deal.
that an organization like that would waste time and effort on somebody like Wick. That is insane to me.
Can I tell you something that I was told when I first started? So when I first started with PV, they made an offer and I was like, why the fuck would you pay me that much, right? Like I for that amount of money, I would work 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, right? Like that's the kind of services I expect to render, right? For that amount of money, right? And they were like, well, there's a whole bunch of money that floats around in PACs. There's a whole bunch of money that floats around in elections. And a lot of Democrats are looking at the social media space. They're looking at TikTok, they're looking at Facebook, they're looking at Instagram, they're looking at influencers, looking at all this kind of stuff. And what's going to happen if Progressive Victory or Rebellion doesn't try to do a pilot program where they try to marry the online and real world politics thing is some Ivy League dipshit who is a Nepo baby, who's already a millionaire, who got the right degree, who has the right names. He's going to go onto TikTok for 3 months. He's going to write down the names of some ostensibly progressive creators. He's going to send an Excel spreadsheet to the DNC, and he's going to charge them $30,000 for 90 days worth of research that he could have completed in an hour. So either you take it or the Ivy League Nepo baby asshole who's going to create an Excel spreadsheet takes it. So for me, I think there is a worthwhile mission here, which is trying to marry online politics and IRL shit. Now, is it going to be perfect the first time around? Of course not. Is it going to be effective the first time around? Probably not. But is it worth fucking trying? Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Look, like I said, I think it's.
If I may.
Sure.
Oh
Go
God,
ahead.
please stop. So let's get to the dishonesty part, because again, the only reason we're talking about this is because I came on, I was asked questions, and I answered them honestly. Nothing is hidden. There's no shadowy organization where I'm not being honest and upfront. I'm telling you everything that I know and I can. Like, none of this is something I'm.
But that's after it got
obfuscating.
leaked, right? That's not after.
No,
that wasn't up front.
People have known in my community. My viewers have known I've been sponsored for a while.
Sponsored by Rebellion Pack. I don't know about by Progressive Victory.
Like I don't know if
Sponsor
it's a,
might
I
not
don't
be
know if
the
it's
right
considered a
term.
sponsor or a contracted streamer. I don't know the right term, like the legalese or the jargon or whatever. But no, even that, members of my audience, this criticism is coming from people who don't watch me. Mindwaves doesn't watch my content. Resi doesn't watch my content. Beckett doesn't watch my content. None of them watch my content. Again, I have let people know. Now, have I been as specific as perhaps I could have been? Maybe not, right? But much like I did on the Destiny panel today before they came on, much as I'm doing now, much as I'm doing yesterday, Progressive Victory pays me money. There you go. It's not hidden.
Yes,
not
and
the
problem is that you're denying.
It's not dishonesty. It's the fucking opposite, actually.
You're denying the existing incentives that receiving a paycheck has, especially for a failed streamer like yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, dude. All right, hold up. So this is
no.
I was about to say this is my frustration.
No. It again, it's not about Wick. It's about like let's say for instance like something that I thought was laughable was the idea that someone like Pixie is now getting these collaborations with Rokana to react to things together on stream, which accumulated no views really. And the idea that time and effort and money is being wasted on these influencers that have virtually no influence and aren't really doing anything to affect politics at the end of the day. You could say, oh, well, they have potential, blah, 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 blah. But do they really? Pixie doesn't even stream regularly. She doesn't really have much of an influence on any of her social medias. Wick is obviously not that.
Okay, Mindwaves, the beef that I got with what you're doing right now is you keep bringing it back to Wick and his success. I'm sure that plenty of people on Twitter have talked shit about your fucking Icarus.
I'm not mad that Wick is or isn't successful.
So
I don't care.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You can say everything you're saying right now
without being specific about a person.
Without being specific about Wick.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on.
I already made it clear.
So
I'm not just talking about Wick. It's the idea that they would give money to anybody like Wick or like Pixie or like these other irrelevant influencers on the internet.
So Pixie, like I don't know if I should be standing somebody who's not.
Dude, we shouldn't even go into the specific people. Let's just say, like, broadly, if you were to give money to people who either aren't committed to streaming or aren't like have tried it and basically not been successful, do you think that lessens their contributions to this group?
I would just like to see these people
as like
a
a
proof that they
abstract.
provided.
I'm not even saying. Listen, I'm not even. Listen, you guys are jumping way ahead. I'm not even saying that this is true. Like, let's talk about the case where that were true. Like, if that were true,
I don't even feel this way towards Wick because he does at least organize panels.
Listen, Wick gets donations from Lex Friedman. Okay, so Wick's on the map. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the others that I don't really think do much.
Here's with the influence thing. Like, it's not how many people watch you; it's who watches you. Okay.
Hold up.
That's
I don't.
important.
Okay, I want to modify people's calculation. Okay. So Mindwaves, kind of what you're saying, or at least what I'm inferring based off of what you're saying, is that you think that Progressive Victory is giving money to a certain amount of streamers so that they talk about progressive issues to a certain amount of audience, so they're effectively buying eyeballs for the Democrat Party for pet topics. That's kind of what I'm hearing inferentially, okay? But that's actually not what the model is for PV, because they can't do that, because that's technically illegal in order to buy the eyeballs, in order to buy the content, et cetera, et cetera. So what they are buying is they are buying half a dozen to a dozen people, getting into a room on a weekly basis and talking about what's hot, what's not, how best to debate it, what to do with these people, these personalities, etc. Basically sharing best tips and practices on how to develop content and how to be effective with the way that you're speaking. So just because...
To what end? What is their interest in doing that?
Okay, so
what is the political interest in doing that?
Okay, so one, if you're talking about having an online political impact, it's so you can have the most effective and rhetorically talented political impact that you can online. And if you're talking about IRL, it's talking about using your online audience in order to try to leverage that and in order to get a percentage of them to take real world action.
Yes, it's fostering talent for influence.
Okay.
Correct?
And is and I'm trying to do this without naming the individual people, but are we going to say that Kyla doesn't have talent? Are we going to say that Straight Array doesn't have talent? Are we going to say that
so I'm gonna say that
Straight Array doesn't even
I'm gonna
have
say
a social
that
media
they
presence.
don't appear to stream as much.
But at the same time, Pixie and Straight Array have both been on
a couple
whatever
podcasts.
And didn't they make those people look like fucking assholes?
What have you been on, Mindwaves? You fell off. So why are you even talking?
Listen, I didn't want to say
again,
that.
Trying to dick measure. I'm not at all interested in
What are
doing
you
that.
talking about? You came
dick
in
measuring with
trying
fucking
to...
Wick. What the fuck?
No, this has nothing to do
this
with
is the dishonesty
my.
of it. Come on, let's be real.
Mindwaves, just admit you're a loser as well.
Yes,
right?
Wick.
Then we can
I'm
move
so
on.
hard on your dick, dude. I want your cock in my mouth. Yes, absolutely. You're right.
At least
I would
Okay,
not
hold on. Wait,
want
wait,
to see
hold on.
that.
I might be a little bit behind. Let me just ask. Mindwaves, did you specify you don't need to say the person, but the standards that you're looking for, at which point you'd say Progressive Victory, you know what? This is a good hire. This is like, have you already kind of mentioned what those standards would be for you or no?
Yeah, actually, I would be curious. Do you have, if you have those standards, I would love to like mentally evaluate the people that are in it.
Because it might be that we're just never going to agree on the value that
Sure.
these people provide, but it'd be good to hear.
At
like,
the
what
end of the
you-
day, I have no problem with an organization like this trying to gain influence by funneling money into talent. I have no problem with that. Again,
What are the
problem I have-
virtues of the talent? What are the virtues of the talent that you're looking for?
Hold on, just to reiterate, my problem is the lack of transparency in exactly why you're accepting the money, the dishonesty with painting yourself as not having any incentives, like perverse incentives by taking that money. And thirdly, wasteful spending on streamers that don't have influence, that aren't going anywhere, right? So I would say if an organization like that is going to funnel money into talent, do so in a way that, well, first of all, make sure that that you're getting some sort of return on investment, right?
I think they are.
I need to add one more point here. I've now heard multiple people try to paint Chud Logic as somebody who is just doing this for content and shit stirring right now, when I think he's made it very clear from months ago when he was at a Progressive Victory like sponsored dinner that he has like an objective, moral, and ethical like problem with this. So I think a lot of people have tried to say that he doesn't actually, that he's just doing this for content or shit stirring.
Yeah,
that's absolutely not the case.
That's
he has
what
been
we
against
do,
this for a
okay?
long time. Okay.
All right, don't take that
I'm just
from
throwing
us.
that out there.
That's our job.
The thing about this situation is that it gives somebody like Wick the ability to go onto a stream and say, I'm affecting politics. Now my stream and my channel is a political project. I'm influencing politics, guys. Now you're
Has he
using
ever
it
said
as a
that
brand.
shit? Do you have a clip of him saying that?
Yes, he has said it on
Send it to
Twitter.
me. I'd love to see
tell
it.
you real quick that I said this before I got paid from Progressive Victory.
No, you didn't. You
Just
used to laugh at
true.
people that used to pretend like their channel was a political project, Wick. You are
What are you
being
talking
a
about?
hypocrite.
So hold up. So actually, this kind of boils down
We
to
all
beef.
have
So
political
your
influence.
real beef is that Wick has an outsized ego.
If you want to be super reductive and only pay attention to the very last thing I said, sure. But you know I just listed off at least 3 or 4 different reasons why I have an issue with this.
Yeah, but you also said some things that I think we addressed, like, okay, so if you want to say lack of transparency, I'll agree with you, because basically people haven't come out and said, I'm this, right? So I think that people should just say that. Yeah, I work for PV. What of it?
Yes,
and
don't hide
fuck
it.
you.
And don't pretend like
So
those
really
incentives-
I don't
quickly,
even know if
I need
people are
to
hiding.
there.
I need to jump
I don't
in with
even think
another
people are
point here
hiding.
really quick, guys. Just really quick. With some of the people who aren't streaming, so I know Erudite's been streaming less because she has the Bridges podcast. Pixie hasn't been streaming as much, and I don't know if Straight Array's ever really streamed consistently. She just kind of appears and stuff sometimes. Those people have dual roles where they are doing like administrative work, like they're actually doing other work for PV.
Yeah, I
that
didn't,
is not.
I didn't want to say that shit. Yeah, I didn't want to say that shit because I don't know how much we're supposed to fucking reveal of other people's roles.
Well, no,
But
I have no
Kyla's-
listen, I have no idea of like
Yeah.
very specific things. I just like through like reading tea leaves, I kind of know that they have other jobs.
But again, this is just a response to the idea that it is a problem with specific individuals, which it's not. If that is the case, if they are doing things behind the scenes to help the organization, to help garner influence, to help the political project of supporting Democrats or progressive politicians, that's great. I have no issue with that, right? But if we're going to say that the organization is trying to foster talent and funneling money into streamers so that they can benefit from their influence, well then I think that you need to be able to justify that expense
Why
and be
didn't they just
transparent
like
about it.
make a website with all of like the content creators and like their roles or like other people that are related and make like a big thing about it instead of
Because
being kind of
it's
weird
branding.
and
It's
shady?
all about branding. Because if these streamers were to admit
would've
that
been a good
publicly, it would
thing,
hurt their
right?
brand.
No
Why?
bullshit.
don't.
You're saying
It runs counter towards the
this is one of
sort of
indict-
branding that
No,
somebody
this
like
is one of the
Wick or
indictments that I
somebody else
don't.
wants
This
to
is
brand
one of the
themselves
indictments
as.
that I don't accept at all. So you're saying that a streamer who is progressive, saying that they're working with a PAC in order to forward their publicly professed politics, would hurt them? This is something that I've heard repeated that I can't possibly fathom.
It might
Can you
not. It
justify
depends
that?
on how you brand yourself, right? It could not. If you're completely transparent about it, if you are not trying to brand yourself as somebody that is not able to be bought or whatever, right? If you're wanting to put yourself out there as someone who's 100% genuine and 100% transparent, but then in the meantime, you're taking money to influence your content and
do you have anybody in mind when you're saying these things, or is this just kind of like a vague objection?
I thought you didn't want specific examples. Now you do.
I'll take a specific. No, okay. The reason why I want a specific example, because if I think of Kyla, I think of a progressive. If I think of Pixie, I think progressive. When I think Straighteraid, I think progressive. When I think Xander Hall, I think progressive. When I think Wick, I think progressive.
Sure.
Or at least a
then
Democrat.
Can you
so
tell
how
me
does an
why-
affiliation between these people hurt?
Can you tell me why there's a lack of transparency here? Why aren't the
She was singing.
Why aren't certain streamers that are getting this money just being openly transparent about it then? Why isn't that the case? Why
so
isn't
this kind of goes
isn't-
back to
why
Relly?
isn't the organization being transparent about it? Why?
So this kind of goes back to Relly. I think that they haven't even figured out amongst themselves whether or not it's something that is like morally required to divulge.
It's not
or
about
whatever the
morals.
fuck.
It's about being
I mean, morals the analysis
effective.
of good and bad. So effective. No, I mean, I agree there. I think it would be more effective to say it with some balls. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
disagree. That's why I tell people.
So this is new.
No, Wick, you
They're
don't get to
figuring
say
this
that you agree
out.
with that when you have constantly ran counter to that.
What do you constantly rant? You say things?
Yes.
But you just say things,
Wick,
right?
you
Again,
literally
I want to
deny
reiterate,
that
the only reason we're talking about this is because I was upfront and honest, because this is something that people have known for a long, long time.
Two panels
They
were paid
meme
for by
about it.
Rebellion.
You
They
were
meme about
pressured
how
into
I'm on the
talking
Woo
about
panel
it.
and get the Woo box,
Two panels
right?
were paid for by Rebellion Pack, which is Brianna Woo's pack. And then what's the other thing? He's been working with Progressive Victory. Wick, has anybody confronted you and you denied working with Progressive Victory?
That's literally not. That is absolutely, and we've established this. The concealment of it, the not revealing of it, is the issue. And it would, like, my whole point is that I think it's too small to be a big deal, but it is an ethical issue to conceal the fact that you're getting paid and not saying anything about it. Just like if you're advertising any product.
And denying that the whole objective is to influence your content.
I didn't say you have. I didn't say you have. I just disagreed with Connor's point. When he asked you if you've been asked
why if
and
you had
concealed
a
it.
whole
So
bunch
that's
of
not the problem.
content creators, why would you not want them to openly promote something? Then you get your money's worth. I just find that kind of strange.
Yeah, why, Wick?
Because
I don't make decisions.
That's actually a really good point.
I don't make decisions. I just take their money. I don't ask questions. I just take the paycheck.
Oh my God, you
What are you talking about? Like,
fucking
I'm
douche
not
nozzles.
involved in that level.
Okay, I'll say it.
It's not my business.
It's because
it is your
Twitch-
business. You're involved. You are the recipient.
So I'm going to say it from my perspective. This is not PV's perspective. This is my perspective. Twitch has a terms of service thing where it says you cannot explicitly
What
take
about
money
off
and promote
Twitch?
politics. I don't know. They should fucking do it.
But they haven't. Weird.
Well, okay, hold on. No. This is also inaccurate because people have been promoting Progressive Victory in the canvassing event that's happening on February 10th and 11th, probably for weeks, if
Have
not
they
months.
made any posts or put in their bio that they are related
They
to the
recruited
movement in
more
any
than
way, or what?
330 people to show up from various communities.
That's not what I just asked. I said, have they made their like involvement clear, not just like retweeting shit on Twitter? That's quite different.
No idea. I don't track all their shit.
That's a no, mind you. You wouldn't know because you're fucking Twitter suspended. So useless. Anyone else?
Bitch.
I just, again, like this idea that I have to, like, I was in the military, okay? I didn't bust in on the officers, right,
Thank you
when
for
they're
your
discussing
service,
how to
Vic.
order me around and what to do, and be like, hey, you have to reveal to me everything you're talking about, or else I can't ethically work with. No, fuck that. Have you had a job, like, in real life? Do you know how these things work?
Yeah, they tell you what to do.
How
and you
what
do it.
They
things
tell
work?
what
Wait, can
they
you
tell
elaborate
what
for
to
me,
do,
please?
right? Like they give you,
What?
like, here's the plan, and you either say, hey, that plan, at least outside the military. In the military, you just do it, right? Outside the military, you either follow or you quit, right? Or you'd be like, not for me, sorry, bye, right? You can give suggestions, right? But like, so how they
Are you
organize
saying
their
that you just
structure,
don't want to
their
ask
pay
too many
structure,
questions? What, like,
any
what's
of
the
this?
point of this spiel? What are you saying? Say it
Hold on,
plainly.
because you're asking things that are above Wick and my
Yeah,
Yeah,
pay
like, I
grade.
don't-
You're
I'm
like,
just
hold
telling you.
up. Let's
I'm
actually
not.
address what you're
I'm
saying.
really
Yes,
not.
you are. You're saying why
Because
are they
no, you're
hiring the
implying that because
why
I
are
don't-
they hiring the
You're
why
so
are they hiring the
dishonest.
people?
You're such a fucking
Okay.
liar, dude.
Why are
Okay,
they
how was I
hiring the
dishonest?
people?
Wait, demonstrate
Oh
it for
my
me right now.
God. Let me repeat back your questions to you. You're saying, why are they hiring the people that they're hiring? What's the value that these people are bringing to the organization? Does the
Yes.
organization recognize and is able to properly harness this talent in a way that's effective? And do they have an overarching game plan? So
Yeah.
you are asking the grunts who are taking part in the things that we are being asked to take part of, what the overall strategy is. But we're
You're
not the
acting
overall
like Wick
strategists.
is just a little soldier that just takes orders. And
He
that,
relatively speaking is.
if that is true, then that runs counter to the entire narrative that Wick is trying to spew. That it doesn't influence him at all. That he doesn't.
This is bullshit. Come on.
If that
You
is
know
if that
what
is
he's
the case, you're
saying.
just a little soldier that just takes orders and you don't ask any questions.
Why don't
What is your
anyone
role,
take
Wick?
any of
What
this seriously?
role is
Again,
your
every week
role?
You
I
just
go in.
don't like that Wick is a 50
Do you not have
and he's
any?
making
And I
money.
do. My
Do you not
opinion.
have any foresight or anything to
No, I
ask
don't
questions
do.
about what am I doing to serve this organization? Why are you paying me? Is that
Hold on.
never a
I'll answer
discussion,
that as
or
a
are you
peer.
just
I'll
not
answer that
willing
as a
to be
peer.
transparent about that?
I will answer that as a peer to Wick who has been in the meetings with Wick. Wick comes into the conversations. When we ask about multiple topics, he will contribute what he thinks is hot that week. He will also give insight based off of what he thinks is going to play well with a progressive and a conservative and a centrist audience. And then also on top of that, he talks about conversations that he thinks would be interesting to facilitate based off of everybody else's input on what's going on in the moment. So he is a feedback mechanism for a half a dozen to a dozen wildly intelligent, politically motivated people to bounce ideas off of. Now, if he's getting paid 10 grand a month, maybe it's not worth 10 grand a month. But if he's getting paid $500 to $1,500 to $2,000 a month for that level of intelligence and creative feedback, that's for progressive victory to decide how much his worth is.
If you want to
not
start your
you.
own organization,
You don't
that's
even
more
have a
effective,
fucking. You
go
don't have a
fucking
pack.
do
You don't
it.
have money. You don't have financing, dude. I would take your criticism
He
if
just
you
called
had any of
Miami's
that.
broke.
Yeah, if you want to start, if you want to do it right, if you want to affect the political space right, and you think it's being done wrong, do your fucking self. Go ahead, but you won't, because all you do and all your kind does is complain, is whine, is bitch.
Yeah, Wick, I know, I get
I'm
it. You're in
sorry, I
there,
can't
you're putting
understand
in
you,
the
I don't
work,
speak
you're
whine a
on the
little bit.
ground, you're the one with real influence. I get it. You're just so big brain that all your
You
ideas
just
are
don't
gold.
like. Wick might have had an ego once or twice, and you're taking that as a massive opportunity to shit on him. Who the fuck doesn't have an ego?
Why?
In
It's
this
hard not to
space?
have an ego next to
Everyone
this
really
bullshit.
wants to call
The idea
Preach
that he is
waves, but I
only
just-
receiving money because he has some sort of unique and useful perspective on
I mean,
what
Those are your
discourse
words.
matters at any given time is
Those are
ridiculous.
your
There are
words.
literally professionals that get paid to do this, that get paid to pay attention to the discourse, learn how to weaponize it, learn how to use it effectively in a campaign. Wick is not that. Let's be real.
So DM the heads of progressive victory. You can make the case for why Wick is a poor investment, and then you can get him fired.
I just wanted to point out that
the thing is that I just
guys,
take money out of his mouth. Take money out of his mouth.
Are you making that? Oh, poor Wick, he's gonna be broke. Like, what is this?
I
shit?
love
Like, what are you
what
talking
Snaggletooth.
about?
I love what Snaggletooth said.
Wait a
He
minute,
doesn't
you
use
got Cam up
this.
yet, or are you still too
He
scared?
doesn't use this to grandstand about
stop.
how he's
Are you
doing
going
stuff
Cam up,
and
or are
other
you still
people
too
aren't.
scared?
And then he does that exact thing to
Yeah, you're
Mindwaves.
fucking a
10
coward.
minutes
Got you,
later.
coward
He,
queen.
yeah,
People
he denies it and then does
people
exactly that in this
exactly.
conversation.
Exactly. Absolutely sickening from this fucking goblin freak over here.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Holy
You're
shit.
weaponing it and using it as
All in his little
branding.
points,
You're
in his
using it as
little cave.
branding and a crudgel against other people.
So you're already, so again, just repeating back what I just heard.
It's the
Wick has
hypocrisy.
too
That
big-
is a
He has
personal
too big of an
distaste for Wick.
ego for how much size he has. That's your problem.
That's my problem with Wick, yes. But I have other issues that are more important that I've
You'll be
already
okay.
laid out.
You know what, Mindwaves? I think we're friends on Discord. I will DM the head of PV. I will ask him if it's okay for me to give you his contact information. And if you want to DM him and tell him how to run his pack, and he's okay with that, I'll give you his fucking Discord DM so you can do that. And you can tell him how he's wasting his money and he's being ineffective and he's being stupid and he's hiring untalented people. And realistically, you, Mindwaves,
What's
know
with the
how
gay
best to
power
run his
players? They're
organization.
just justifying why you're being paid the money. Why can't you just explain what the fuck it is you're doing? Why the fuck you're justifying?
We already have.
You keep moral frogging.
You just
You're touching your fucking
Oh,
pearl.
listen,
Right?
no one's
Oh,
who's moral fagging? Who's
we
moral
don't know
fagging?
exactly the transcripts of everything that was said. It must be this
Hey,
nefarious dark
Snaggletooth,
thing. Oh my
Snaggletooth,
god,
snap
this
it.
is the only move
Hey,
you have? This is the
hey.
only play you have?
Queeman,
People
ask
don't
your
think
question
crazy?
and I'll answer it.
Yeah, you're sitting there making a power play instead of just justifying
It's
exactly
the
what it is
most
you're doing in your
obtuse
job.
and obvious hand waving ever possible.
Queeman,
Instead of
ask
engaging with the
your
point of
question.
hey,
What
you're saying,
is the
oh,
job?
you
What
can
do
do
you
better.
do?
You do
What
better then.
value
If you think
do
you can,
you
if you think
provide?
you know so much, then you do it. Like, dude, that's not.
What? Okay,
do you
so
do?
are you
That's
asking
dishonest.
me or are you asking Wick?
Either of you. Wick is
Okay.
more questionable to me, frankly, because I
love
genuinely
fucking
cannot imagine what this guy offers
That's
anyone.
mud wrestling. We love
This
it.
is all
Okay,
just...
so I'll answer for me. So hopefully we can like illustrate how people might have value adds besides specifically their clout. Okay, so for me, the way that I was brought on was that I am a part of the Republican Party that is the 45% that is anti-Trump. However, I'm not a bleeding heart liberal and I'm not a rabid progressive. So there are some progressive policies that could translate to conservative outcomes if they were articulated specifically. So I, in the meetings, try to bring up how I think that you would communicate these ideas to a conservative
Okay,
audience.
what
or conservative
suggestion have you
debate
given
opponent.
and what action was taken off the back of it?
I
Give
mean,
me
you would
one.
have to ask. You would have to ask other creators whether or not they
Okay,
took
I'll
my
see if I can
advice.
do one.
Okay,
Okay.
hold on. It's not just on there. Also, I do have a security background, meaning that I've done 8 years of security work. And so when we were talking about going out for the canvassing event,
Okay,
we
yeah,
basically
there's
said,
some
"Hey,
people for
hold
security, this
on.
makes sense to me. This
Can
makes sense to
you
me. But
can you do
talk about the actual stuff? We're talking about
I want to.
meetings,
Just
right?
give me 10 more seconds, man. They basically said, "Can you do a safety brief and can you do like the logistical prioritization of all the things that could go wrong? And then can you be the point person, one, to brief people when we get there? And then two, can you basically make sure that shit isn't going crazy at the location that we're staying at?"
Sorry, that's part of your role as a contracted streamer.
Yeah.
That seems like an insane amount of liability to put on a contracted streamer.
Sure. But I'm not just a contracted streamer. And
Okay,
there
I'm
are-
asking about. I'm obviously asking about your role as a contracted streamer.
You're
So if this
adding
is something
streamer.
extra,
I am a contracted
okay.
employee.
Wait,
contracted
Erudite.
employee
I'm
of
going off
PV.
of Erudite's description of you
Uh-huh.
guys as contracted streamers on Jstlk stream here just a few weeks ago. That is
Okay.
what I am operating off of.
As pointed out by Mindwaves and as backed up by Jstlk, Pixie and Straighteraid don't stream often, but they do go on big shows and stomp on fucking ridoids or whatever. And Pixie is also serving in an administrative role in PV. She's not being paid for her streamer clout. She's being
Okay.
paid for her administrative role.
So Erudite is talking about people being contracted streamers for their capacity as a streamer, okay? So when I'm asking you about what you do in that role, I'm talking about that specifically. I'm not talking about what you do when you're asked to do security at events. I'm not talking about what you're doing when you're doing briefings for people and how to stay safe online, whatever it is the fuck you're doing, or whatever any of that is. I'm not asking about that. I'm asking about you being a contracted streamer. I'm asking about what you do in terms of streaming. So what is it exactly
streamer in the
you
title,
and
that
Wick
must
have
all-
provided
that
as a
must-
streamer?
I will
must cover
answer
all the bases of
honestly.
everything that's
That is
done. What is
okay.
this
I will answer honestly. the rhetorical consultation is the maximum I do towards streaming because one, my audience is largely centrist and right wing, so they're not, and it's pretty small, so they're not interested in recruiting my audience largely.
So in terms of being a contracted streamer, you're basically just paid to show up and chat about politics once a week.
Are you guys
if you want to minimize it or degrade it that much?
Well, I mean,
sure.
You haven't shown me a single actual action that's been taken off the back of your suggestion.
Focus group for political
Yeah,
parties?
because I don't
I'm
watch
not
everybody else's content.
You're putting this moralizing shit onto me. I'm simply asking what the details here. I understand it's difficult for you to keep up. I don't know why they're paying you.
Political focus groups. Do you guys know what political focus groups are?
Yes, I'm not moralizing about it. I'm not moralizing about it.
Do you
I'm
know what
simply
they are,
asking
Wick?
for the details of what Connor is doing. So I don't know why you're bringing this up to say like, well, what are you against that? So I'm simply asking.
I'm trying to figure out. You seem to have a problem. You have yet to elucidate exactly what that problem is. You keep doing these vague allusions. You're not specific, and you keep doing this. We're going to ask him questions till he slips up, quote unquote, and then we're going to get him. But please, this is what I'm asking. Be specific about your criticism. What do you think is happening? What do you think is the unethical, immoral, or illegal part of what's going on? And then we can address that. It's very, very hard to box with shadows when you aren't clear.
I think there is a conflict of interest